is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. Cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty. How in the hell are you all doing out there? Yes, sir. Ready to rock and roll on a beautiful Tuesday. It's a beautiful Tuesday because your Dolphins brought us a victory this weekend. So the boys continue their march for the number 1 seed. Now they got to take care of Baltimore this week. Although we got a bunch of nervous Nellies out there. Somehow they forgot that the Dolphins have beat them the last 2 years, but whatever. Anyway, so it's one of those things. So we'll have some fun today. Lots and lots to talk about. Ira Winderman will stop by at 10:30. David Furones will join us at 11. Manny Navarro at 11:30. So we've got a loaded show for you. Cam Wolf will join us tomorrow. Okay. Today he's doing something special for the wife. So he said, can we push it back? I said, of course, man. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the family. That's what this is all about this weekend. Whether you're celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever it is that you're celebrating, enjoy, man. That's what this is all about, is family and friends and the people you love is what you want to be around. So it's all good. And we love our football, and we love our Miami Heat, by the way. Jaime Jaquez with a hell of a performance last night, leading the Heat over the Sixers. That was cool. In a game that really, a lot of the sexiness went out when you found out Butler was out and then Embiid was out. But then you're like, okay, well, even Stevens. Now let's see what happens. And Miami got it done yesterday, even though Sixers stormed back, kind of like what happened in the Dallas game. The Dallas stormed back to take the lead, and then Miami had to kind of retake the lead and win the game and run out the clock, which was just absolutely beautiful the other day. So anyway, we got a bunch of things to talk about. We got a bunch of people to talk to, of course. We thank all of you for tuning in. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Got a new Bitcoin hat for Christmas. They knew that there was something that I would like a Bitcoin hat, so I ended up getting a Bitcoin hat. One of the coolest presents I got, because I've got to reset this whole thing. And I've been wanting to do this because I have all kinds of goodies that the family gave me. Well, it's over there, but my daughter gave me a whole bunch of gifts, and she gave me a bunch of really thoughtful gifts. And one of them, which I can't wait to put on display back there, will be Randy Rhoads' guitar, which is actually really, really cool. I don't know how she even thought of getting me that. It's a simple gift. You don't have to spend a ton of cash, right? But it means so much, So it was pretty cool. She got me. Let me see, an Ace Frehley doll, right? Action figure, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't give a shit. What was the other thing she got me? Oh, yeah. She got me a Robert Smith, what's it called? Funko Pop, too, which was actually really cool. So she got me some stuff that I can use for the background. Because what I want to do now is get a wide shot camera, make it a wide shot. So normally, and then have a second camera that's kind of like a close-up camera that we can switch up and, for rip jobs or something personal we want to get to, but kind of give an overall picture of the back end of the studio with all the Funko Pops and everything else that you guys have given me over the years and things like that I want to put up that I haven't been able to, actually. You know what I mean? So got a bunch of stuff that I'd like to display. So now she got me the Randy Rhoads guitar. I mean, there's incredible pressure to kind of redo the back end of my studio because, people like all the banner stuff, but, we got to expand it a little bit more is what we got to do. Anyway, appreciate all of you as always tuning in. Let's see what we got. Is the crypto market ready to blow up? Let's see what we got. Because I'm expecting this week now, as we lead into the beginning of the year and the ETFs. I know there was a little dip here. Yeah, Bitcoin 42,578 down 2.4%. This is a really good little dip for some of yous out there if you want to get in. And by the way, Polkadot over $9. I wonder, Sean, did that guy ever really keep his Polkadot that was being pressured by his wife? And we were talking about it when it was in the $5 range. So now it's $9. And it's going to pop now pretty soon to $10, $12 real quickly here. So I wonder if that guy ended up selling pressured by his wife, or did he hang on? Because now he's going to start seeing, some real profits, coming in. But it's always interesting to see some of you out there that got in on it. But anyway, so we did have a nice little Christmas pump over the weekend. Although we had a little retracement here this morning, so that will open up the door for some of you newbies to take advantage of. So anyway, Lisa Rose, happy Victory Tuesday. Miles Deep, top of the morning. What do we got here? Joseph is number one. I see GMO. Great day. Ray Sosa in. Happy. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. I had a blessed Christmas, man. Nice and calm and cool. And the Dolphins won. So that's all I care about. As seen on YouTube, he's been better than you've given credit for. Watch the games and look the numbers. Still on 2 in Miami, but I think we can this week. But LJ's a beast. Brother, whatever you want, you guys want to believe whatever hype you want. Watch the game. Well, actually, watch the passes. Just watch the passes. Just watch for real. So they had 3 interceptions, a bunch of turnovers. San Fran made every mistake in the book, and they were losing 13-12. Whatever, bro. You guys want to believe whatever hype you want. Lamar Jackson doesn't mean shit to me, dude. Nothing. Regular season performer, and that's it. That offense is nothing, my brother. San Francisco gave that shit away yesterday. Purdy threw 4 interceptions, 2 of them his fault. The other 2, obviously, his teammates who helped screw things up. And then they did every other mistake in the book and opened it up, dude. An entire half, and they were leading 13-12. It was finally that the turnovers at the beginning of the third quarter where you gave up, what was it, in 18 seconds, 2 touchdowns? That was your game. Whatever you want, dude. I mean, you guys can believe all the hype you want. Just watch it, man. He's an athlete. He'll run around, make a couple of plays, but it's really, it's a tough team. It's a hard-running team. That's what you got to do is take them out of their groove and running, and you got to take a lead on them. It's really simple. Yesterday, San Fran gave that game away. But you got to take a 7-10 point lead on Baltimore. Get them completely off their rhythm. Don't allow them to be the running team that they are. Just watch the throws. Even ones that he completes, he makes the receiver come back for it, turn around for it. Rarely in rhythm, rarely leading people, whatever, man. I get it. You people fall for this same hype every year. When he actually starts winning in the playoffs, then talk to me. You know what I mean? But I get it. Some of you wussies out there, man, Jesus Christ. The Dolphins have beat them twice the last 2 years, right? Whatever, man. You know what I mean? This is the same shit that goes on every year. It's a difficult offense to prepare for in the regular season. That's all it is. And yesterday, San Fran gave it away. I hear the same shit. Where are you when he loses? You talk a lot of shit after a positive game and they win. When he continues to lose in the playoffs, why don't you guys reach out to me after? I don't understand that. Why didn't you reach out to me when the Dolphins beat him last year? How about the year before where Tua didn't even practice all week? And they started Jabroni Brisket, and they brought Tua off the bench and beat Lamar. And last year they came back from 21 points down to beat Lamar. Not exactly sure. I get it. You guys are just like the Ravens offense. It's a front-running offense. And you guys are front runners. I mean, just make sure you reach out to me with the same kind of conviction when he loses in the playoffs again. It's funny how some of you are just, I don't know, you couldn't be any more wimpier. You get scared about everything. It's pretty amazing how wimpy some of you guys are. Seriously. Like, most of you, your BB's never dropped. Yeah. That's why it's funny watching some of you guys laugh at me in crypto a year ago or 2 years ago, and my portfolio's down 30%, 40%, 50, 60%. You guys don't even have any money involved, and you pee in your pants. I can't imagine watching your portfolio down 50, 60%. None of you would even last. You'd fold like a cheap tent. Like, there's no balls behind anything for some of you out there. It's really amazing. Oh, but I'm still on the Dolphins, but I'm so worried about the Ravens. Wussies. Anyway, Stephen Harris is in the house. Alexis Palenzuela, David Stewart, Angelo De Jesus is in Albuquerque, Mexico. Danielle Reno, Cash the Jeweler, Jay Gelfin, Josh, Sneak Attack. Let's see. Mike Suarez. Big O, you still don't like Lamar? Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think much of him. Still don't. No. See, that's the difference between you and me, Mike. I got conviction. I got balls. When everybody's telling you that Tua can't play for 2 years in his first 2 years, I'm telling everybody they can't. Why, Mike? My balls won't fit in your house, Mike. Okay? In the middle of Mike Tannenbaum and Adam Gase, I'm telling everybody you got to fire him and hire Chris Greer, because guys like you, Mike Suarez, are saying Chris Greer's part of the problem because you repeat everything everybody else says, Mike Suarez, because you're a follower, my brother. That's the problem. People like me are leaders. We look beyond the bullshit. That's the problem, Mike. You get trapped up in all the bullshit. You get caught up in every little moment, and you think it's something when it's absolutely nothing. It's the same old, same old. But you go ahead, Mike. Don't worry about it, my brother. Hey, I'm used to being in the middle of the fire. When Brian Flores is in the middle of a winning streak, I'm telling you, he's getting fired. It's all good, my brother. I'm used to being in the middle of the fire, and then I come out unscathed. That's the amazing part. You got to understand that. I come out unscathed every time. Every single time. You gotta really realize what's going on there. Every single time I come out unscathed. I'm in the middle of it when I tell you when you got to unload X. Was I not right? Yeah, I was right. I was right at that moment. You were all freaking out, including you, Mike Suarez. Oh, you can't trade X. But you should have at that moment, right? You know, these things happen. Unscathed. More often than not, be careful when you go against this wave, because it ends up becoming a tsunami almost every time. Watch out. Gus 1388 is in the house. Mike Gallagher. Let's see. Tua was way off on those passes to the flat. Think he was just being conservative, trying to avoid or just throwing it away on those plays. It's been a problem area in the past. Hey, Mark, you know what's the problem? When he throws a bomb and Tyreek doesn't catch it. Again. That's the bomb right there from your end zone to start the game. Touchdown. And he drops it. You know, like Kansas City, and he drops it. I think you better worry about Waddle dropping passes. I think you better worry about Tyreek dropping passes. Don't worry about the guy that throws it 40 times, and yeah, there's going to be a couple of off throws. Worry about the people dropping the touchdowns. That's what you need to worry about. Okay? Only a couple plays to be made in that game. Tyreek made it even harder on the team for that one. Okay? Tyreek needs to stop screwing around and make some of these catches that he's dropping. And Waddle, okay, unfortunately now we lost him for the rest of the season, but he's got to learn to catch on a consistent basis, too, if he wants to be elite. Yeah, man, you might want to focus on some of those other things. You know, I love that. They always point to the one guy when they don't point to the other guys. Freaking amazing. You open up the game, and the guy throws a dime from the end zone for a touchdown. You got to catch that is what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Catch that. Only a couple plays to be made. The man made the throw you needed. Make the catch. That's what I would do. Chad is in. Miles Deep says, top of the morning. Javier Asuke, or Askew. I don't know how it's pronounced. We're going to be in a rude awakening next week. The Ravens are our kryptonite. They are mighty physical, and us physical don't get along. And how did they beat them the last 2 years? I'm just wondering, hurricane grind mode? Brother, you shouldn't be called hurricane grind mode. You're soft as silly putty, dude. They beat them 2 years ago, and they were a much worse team then with Brian Flores. And they beat them last year down by 21. So they can't beat them now? The wussiness is amazing. Bro, change your name. You're a tropical depression, bitch. You ain't no hurricane, you soft-ass little foe. Hurricane grind mode. You ain't no grind mode, bro. You're a little kid. You're a child. You got Pampers on. You've already stained yourself. Hurricane grind mode. Grow a pair before you want to even use that name. Jamsville, Drago, Crypto Fins, Omar Geiner. It is amazing how soft some of you are. Really, seriously. My God, your homes aren't very safe. Your women aren't very safe. Your kids aren't very safe. Your animals aren't very safe. Soft ass. JN, thank you for the love on the super chat. Buenos dias, O. What's going on with X? Is he still dealing with lingering injuries from last season? Will Baker come back for linebacker support? Did you see any of it? X is a great player that you knew was wearing down. And you had to get off the gravy train at the right time. You failed to get off the gravy train at the right time, and now you have to kind of deal with the demise. I already told you he's gone this year. So it's just a matter of trying to get the most you can out of the last few weeks into the playoffs, and then you'll probably move on from X. And you'll bring in a veteran, and then obviously, you know, last year's draft pick will have to then step up and all that good stuff. But it was going to happen, dude, at one point or another. He's had so many surgeries on the knees. He's had, you know, the growing issues for the last couple of years. It's, you know, it's intoxicating when he gets 10 interceptions, but you think that that's going to be the norm. No, that was the aberration. That was the peak. After that, it was going to be a downhill, and that's what we're doing now at this point. The man's had a hell of a career, dude. We can't ask any more from X. He's done everything he can. He's asked for the most out of his body. You just got to hope that he's got a few more plays in him, you know, for the rest of the season. But it's time. It was coming. We've talked about this. Remember? We talked about this. Remember how we usually, you know, we stand in the middle of the crap storm, and then when the dust clears, like, he was right. You know, it's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Good morning, Big O. Finns are in control of their own destiny, not afraid of the Ravens, even after their performance last night. That offense isn't special. Fins up. I know. It's no big deal. Big O, it really sounds like you're hating, like I did on Ryan Tannehill, like I'm not big on Justin Herbert. Same thing, same kind of conviction that I don't believe in it. Is that what you're talking about? You look at hating or you look at conviction and you spin it how you want it. Right? It's kind of what it is. It's the same thing as X, right? In a 10 interception season, I'm the guy saying now's the time. Did you have that balls? No, Dizzy, because most of you don't, because you're fans. You can't stay objective about things. You let your emotions take over. And that's why I do this show, because fans can't do this show. A lot of fans talk shit that they can do a show, but they can't because they don't have the guts to be honest about their team, about what's going on. That's the difference. That's the fine line I can walk. I can be the football fan and I can be the objective person about the situation. I may be right and I may be wrong, Dizzy, but it has nothing to do with hating. Nothing at all. But that's fan bullshit that I get from you, Dizzy, because you cannot be the same objective person I can be, because you have to have your emotions tied to it. I don't have my emotions tied to it. Don't believe in the kid as a passer. Never have, never will. What do you want me to do? Tiger Shark Tony, Big O, is it sweet to be a Fins fan here in Fort Worth, Texas? Cowboy fans blaming refs for the loss. I reminded them 3:32 left. We took over to win. Fins up. Exactly. X has dead legs. X has got miles, dude. The poor man's got miles. And not miles deep. Who's checking us out? Just a lot of miles. A lot of wear and tear. Eventually it happens. And it sucks. But that's the case. You know? Let's see. Yep, Big O, you talked about X. You're such a badass, tough guy. Wow. Well, it's what it is, Mike. You know, we call it like we see it. Unfortunately, you can't. I guess hating means being objective and having perspective these days. That's how the fan looks at it. That's how people that get emotional about it look at it, unfortunately, because they can't look at it objectively. They have to look at it as a fan. You know, but that's how it goes sometimes. You have your windows, you have your opportunities, and you got to take advantage of them. But you also roll the dice and you say, well, we're going to make a run now, and that's why you can't make the trade. You know what I mean? And that's where you roll the dice, and then you hope you can, because, you know, we told you 2 years ago that he would be released after this season. Just like 2 years ago, we told you that Byron Jones would be released after last season. Because eventually that's just the way the cap rolls and the money, and you have to get off the gravy train because you have to then move on, unfortunately. And this is going to be the year. But the whole Flores thing changed everything for this team because Flores set the team back in the first 2 years. They weren't able to make the personnel moves they wanted so they can, you know, look at the quarterback. But because Flores was anti-quarterback, they weren't able to add the pieces they needed in order to, like, really assess the quarterback. So the assessment of the quarterback didn't start till year 3. Because that's when they were able to have the flexibility to start moving because then they had a coach that's going to allow the front office to do their job. And so then at that moment, you were, okay, can't trade. Now we have to try to make a run. We got to keep him. So that was the decision there. I'm pretty sure of it in the front office. And they say, okay, we got to make the run. Well, we got to keep these guys to try to make a run and put this team in the best position possible. And what are they doing? They're in the best position possible. Now, is X the best he's been? No, he was better 2 years ago. But, this is how the game's played, unfortunately. You wanted to make a run, you got to keep X, unfortunately. You couldn't get off the gravy train, which was the right moment to get off the gravy train. Tough decision, but it would have been the right moment. Now you just got to hope he can hang in there, and you're just not going to – you don't have the X anymore from 2 years ago that was super explosive and the 10 interceptions and all that. You got to hope, because he's a ballsy dude. So you just got to hope that he digs deep down inside and is able to come up with a few plays from here throughout the postseason and to help you win a title. And that's it. And hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? Look, the best that Miami has gave up the winning touchdown this weekend. Something you and I did not expect from Jalen Ramsey. I had people on the chat working, well, why isn't he shadowing CeeDee Lamb? And minutes later, he gives up the touchdown to the other kid. And you're like, holy shit, Jalen Ramsey gave up the game-winning touchdown. Shit. Luckily, Miami came back and took care of business. You know what I mean? So even your best and your healthiest corner, anybody can get burned. That's the life of a corner, even Jalen Ramsey. So we just got to hope. Don't go complaining about X. You know what he is already. You've watched him have one great career for your team already. You have to understand he's not himself anymore. And you just got to hope for the best. And you got to hope that he can dig deep inside and make a couple of plays when he's needed. Because you saw this weekend, he completely misjudged that ball. That's not the X that you're used to from a couple of years ago or 4 years ago or 5 or 6 years ago. Unfortunately, that's not the X we have anymore. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And we just got to, hope for the best, folks. Hope for the best. That's why Cam Smith was drafted, to eventually take over one of those spots. So let's hope that he can turn the corner next year and the light goes on and he's ready to become that guy. Big O, you're speaking facts. That's hella true. Just got to hope for the best on X's side, whoever he guards. That's all. Just don't be unrealistic thinking that X is the same guy he was a couple years ago, which it's not fair to you. You're lying to yourself, and then you're setting yourself up for something that is not realistic. Chosen was out cold for a second. Yeah, that poor kid suffered a concussion. Yeah. Howard is a Ring of Honor player, but I think he needed at least one more elite season before he could have been considered Hall of Famer. Yeah, he won't be a Hall of Famer. Probably not. Ring of Honor here for sure. First things first, stop calling people bitches, soft, etc. We're talking football here. Yeah. Hey, Jacob, bro, get lost. You know what I mean? Shows is the show titled for you or me? Whose show is it? Yours or mine? I don't think you know a really important rule on this show. Okay? Do you guys want to tell them what the rule is? Number one rule on this show? I don't know. If you want to hang around here very long, if you want to be able to text into the show, you might want to know rule number one. Okay? So you better learn rule number 1 really quickly. And if you don't like it, haul ass, bro. I'm not holding a gun to your head whatsoever. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk a little basketball with our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, there he is. How you feeling, Ira?
You know what?
Good?
When you win 6 out of the last 8 and you're heading out on a 5-game trip, you got to feel like you're in a good place. When you're winning without Jimmy Butler and showing a different way to do it, you have to feel you're in a good place. And you know what, Big O? It's almost like the Dolphins also. The games are also fun. They're playing a fun, freewheeling style where you don't feel like you've grinded to the end of a game, where when you watch these games, you say, you know what? Remember that play? Remember that play? This team is making highlights. You know what? You might as well have fun along the way also. Jaime Jaquez, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson. It's a good team and it's a fun team. Pretty good place to be at the end of the year, eh?
I agree. And the young Butler is the guy that I like, Jaime Jaquez. That's the beauty of having what is a incredibly savvy, intelligent, and aggressive player, man, and fearless. I mean, that this kid is mature beyond his years, and it just reminds you also of how good it is to get a basketball player who's been playing basketball in college for 4 years and the maturity that comes with that. And man, what he did yesterday, I was just so impressed because he plays like a 10-year veteran, man.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. We get caught up a lot of times, Big O, in chronological age. We say a guy's 22. You know what? He's 22 going on 30. Yeah. Nikola Jovic is 20 going on 17. Tyler, when he first came in the league, was 19, maybe going on 16. Bam, when he came out of the league, was a more mature player. So a lot of times you get caught up on age, but then you realize the savvy, you realize the intelligence, you realize the guy who knows how to play. I love what Eric Spoelstra said. One, he took the risk of comparing him to Jimmy Butler, which puts pressure on someone, but he says you don't even need to give this guy the ball. There are high-maintenance players, and there is Jaime Jaquez Jr., and he is playing off anyone. He's not taking shots from Bam. He's not taking shots from Tyler. He's playing within his role. You swear this guy's a 5-year veteran and is approaching his 30th birthday. You know what? All these people who want to get the phenom, who want to get the 1 year and done, the high school player, the kid who's going to come out of nowhere and expected to be a star. You've seen it with the Precious Achiuwa, Jarrell Wright. You go back with me a little bit. And then you get someone like this. So, yes, he's an older rookie. And go back and read those scouting reports. And people going, yes, limited upside. F upside. I want to win now. This kid comes in. He's playing all of the fourth quarter. He's an NBA winning player right now. Pretty impressive. I'm worried 5 years down the road. And you know what, Big O? 5 years down the road, it'll be pretty damn good also.
Oh, hell yeah. This guy is only going to get better, man, because the confidence will grow. The success with that confidence will grow. I think what was telling yesterday was post-game. I believe Eric Spoelstra said he did not call one play for him.
Correct. They played a lot of zone against them, so there weren't plays in the second half, but even in the first half.
31 points on a incredible, efficient 11 of 15 shooting, by the way. Okay. So not only is he scoring, he's also scoring incredibly efficiently too at the same time. And your coach didn't call a play for you. That's crazy. That's insanity.
That shows you know how to play the game the right way. It shows you know how to manage the game the right way. And that's all you want from a player. I like what Eric said. Spo said after the game, it felt like Jaime had a 21-point game because nothing was spectacular. It was all efficient. It was all in the rhythm of the game. I can't tell you how many times I've watched a player, a star player, quote unquote, in this league, have a game and you thought he had more points than he did. And then you realize he had the highlight plays, but only had those plays. He didn't have the in-between plays. Like you see, the little plays. We love the Tyreek Hill long plays. But you know what? If it wasn't for the Durham Smythe smaller plays, you don't get the victories also. So a guy who can do the dirty work for you also, that matters and that counts. Yeah. You know what? It's interesting. If you were to turn this accurate Pembroke Pines report around and ask me, okay, Ira, what isn't Jaime Jaquez doing? Give me some of the downsides. I tell you, you know what? I'll call you back later in the day because I'd have a real hard time finding it. What does Jaime Jaquez do wrong? Usually on a rookie, you can nitpick and find all the issues. Really hard with this kid.
No. I'm trying to think of it myself. He just excels in every area of the game. I'm not telling you he's a dominant force as a defender, but he can defend.
Efficient. Yes, he's efficiently will defend. Usually a rookie puts you so far behind the eight ball that you can't play them late in the game. We've seen plenty of Heat rookies come in and have that issue also. He will be efficient. He's picking up the system slowly but surely. That's all you can ask for. Is interesting. Eric Spoelstra mentioned the AAU basketball style. The kids who come out one and done tend to make their name in AAU basketball. They need the points. It's all about scoring. Spoelstra said in 4 years at UCLA, he learned to earn his way to the rotation. He learned to be a Bruins rotation player. He learned to win tournament games when it's one and done, not these 3 AAU play 3 games in one day kind of things where you're still going to get 60 points because you're playing a lot. So everything along the way was the right way. A number 18 draft choice. That just doesn't happen in the NBA.
How injury-wise, how'd they come out of that game last night?
Well, you got Caleb Martin now at the ankle. You know what's remarkable about this game yesterday, especially with Tyrese Maxey struggling? You can make an argument, and I think you'd agree, the Heat's top 4 perimeter defenders weren't playing. No Jimmy Butler, no Caleb Martin, no Haywood Highsmith, no Josh Richardson. What team can you take away your 4 top wing defenders and somehow find a way to keep a guy like Tyrese Maxey under control? Again, I don't want to overstate the system, but don't understate the system. The Heat have find a way to get it done with a Jamal Cain, with an RJ Hampton. They throw him in there. They didn't have anyone else, and they make it work. Am I concerned about Caleb Martin? Yeah, for this reason. The Heat already was starting undersized power forwards. 6'5" Haywood Highsmith, 6'5" Caleb Martin. I don't know what they would do now. Kevin Love is playing so well as a reserve, I don't want to start him. Orlando Robinson and Thomas Bryant right now aren't good enough. So they need Caleb on this road trip, whether it's going out and playing the Warriors, the Jazz, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Suns. Tough trip coming up. They could use a little bit more. They're really banged up, but they're not making excuses because Spoelstra won't allow that.
Is he frozen on your end, Ira?
Is the Big O freeze or just me?
I believe it's Big O. I'm going to check on him right now.
Frozen Big O. That's the scariest thing in all of sports. So, all right, you know what? While we wait for Big O, I'll continue. So right now, the Heat are in a situation where they have the injury concerns. They're going out on this West Coast trip right now. Again, to refresh, they start the trip on Thursday against the Golden State Warriors. Golden State playing 500 basketball now. They'll be desperate to a degree. You have that going on. After that game, they go to Utah for sort of a Saturday matinee for the international crowd. The Jazz are struggling. They're going to make trades. It looks like they might trade Markkanen. It looks like they might trade Kelly Olynyk. So they're a team in flux. To me, that's the must-win on this trip. Then you get 4 days in LA, which can be dangerous over the New Year's break also. They're going to play the Clippers on New Year's Day, the same day the Rose Bowl is going on out in LA. So there'll be a lot of Alabama, a lot of Michigan fans out there. The Clippers have played very well. Not only since they got James Harden, but also since they moved Russell Westbrook to the bench. So you have that going on with the Clippers. That sets up right now as probably the toughest game going on when you're talking about this Heat 5-game Western trip, just because of the way that James Harden has found his niche right there. Kawhi Leonard's only missed 1 game because of injury this year. So you have that going on. Big O, I'm just going through the West Coast trip. So let me just.
I was hearing it.
So you have the Clippers game, then you have the Lakers, and that's going to be an interesting game, Big O, because of size. That's where you have an Anthony Davis. That's where you have a bigger front line that Heat'll have to deal with. And then I want to round this all up with the perfect example of don't think every big three works. Then you have the Suns. You have Bradley Beal, who Big O refused to trade for. And let's give him some Big O credit points here because that's been a disaster. He barely played for the Suns. You have Durant, you have Booker. And it's just a really good reminder that for what the Heat had in LeBron James and with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, big threes don't always work. We saw it burn out with the Nets, with Garnett and Pierce and Darren Williams. It has to be the right three players. So it's a challenging trip, Big O, but I don't doubt the Heat in any game. I don't look at any matchup with this Heat team and saying, oh, they're in trouble because they've proven us wrong time and time again. Yes, over six games over 500 for the first time this year, but even more than that, Big O, trending in the right direction.
Yeah, Bradley Beal's soft like some of our Dolphin fans that we were talking to.
I heard.
Before you got on. Yeah, he's as soft as those guys. But I will say this, and by the way, Durant's already complaining again.
Yeah, you know what? And that's why you got to be careful about those guys. You've got to be careful. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you another example, Big O, and we're going to talk about this in our Accurate Pembroke Pines reports going forward. Now, Donovan Mitchell apparently wants out of Cleveland. You've got to be careful. Look, any player can want out of somewhere once. Any player can say, you know what? This isn't right for me. It's not my system. I get that. It's a free agency world. In every sport, you have the right to move on. A guy like Ohtani, who's playing for the Angels, and they're not winning. He had a right to say, I want to win. I want to go to the Dodgers. I want to go to a winning team. I get that. But when you get the Durants, and you get the Hardens, and now you get the Donovan Mitchells, I'm not so sure I necessarily want a twice unhappy guy. Now, I'm also talking out of both sides of my mouth because the Heat got Jimmy Butler, wasn't happy in Chicago, wasn't happy in Minnesota, wasn't happy in Philly, and it worked out. But I'm just saying, for every one of those, there are guys who all of a sudden, like Durant, I mean, you're talking about OKC left, Golden State left.
Durant is, I look at him and I go, hey, asshole, you were in Golden State.
You had it all.
You had it all, dude.
Yeah.
You were the best player in the league. You played at the highest moment. You were the number one player in those moments. You had nothing more to prove. Just stay there and build your legacy. But your ego forced you, and all you've done is brought hell upon yourself. Sure, you got all your money and all that crap, but once you left Golden State, all you got was headaches from there on out. It's almost like, dude, you brought this upon yourself. You know what I mean? It's just that when I look at Durant, it's like, I blame you, dude, nobody else.
You know, I'm going to take it a step further, Big O. When he left OKC, and they had very good teams there also. And he moved from Seattle in the Supersonics, and he became part of that situation. He could have been a Kobe. He could have been a legacy player. Now, granted, it's not LA. It's OKC. Maybe at some point you want to live in a real place where there isn't an oil derrick on the way in from the airport. So I get that. But that's the thing. These twice unhappy players, I think you need to pull back a little bit. And you need to ask yourself, is it worth taking the risk from a player who always wants out? Look at Damian Lillard. I had no issue with that, Big O. Portland never built the right way around him.
That's fair, dude.
And he wanted out. He wanted to go somewhere. Let me ask you something else, because I mentioned this in my Ask Ira at thesunsentinel.com also. Let's review one of our very good offseason friends, a guy I think you have a close relationship with, Big O, by the name of Joe Cronin, who didn't want Tyler Hero, who didn't want Jaime Jaquez, who didn't want Duncan Robinson. You look back at all the national media talking about the garbage, the crap the Heat were trying to unload. How dare you not at least take a phone call? Now, look, in retrospect, I think you'd agree with this, Big O. I love Damian Lillard as a player, and I would have given up a lot, but I wouldn't have given up the house. Right now, with Orlando Alzagari, in retrospect, have given up Jaquez and Hero and Duncan Robinson and 2 first-round picks for Damian Lillard, knowing what you know now.
No, I didn't want to give Jaquez then.
Right.
Remember, I told you, get Jokic. I'm not giving up Jaquez. I need Jaquez now because Jaquez can help right now. I had conviction with Jaquez, so I'm good on the Jaquez one.
Yeah,
so
and again, you and I have spoken for months about this also, about bridges to the future. they're in a pretty damn good spot with Adebayo and Hero and Jaquez right now. You know, everyone talks about the old Heat and Pat Riley's veterans. Yeah.
And bro, Duncan's turned himself into a complete player now, man. I like watching Duncan play basketball now.
Yes. Complete game, hitting those huge three-pointers last night. They don't win that game without his fourth quarter relief three-pointers. He finds a way. He makes the right cut. He slips the screen. He gets into the right place. So you have that also. So you have to look in that direction as to what he's getting done right there. And here's the other elephant in room. Aggregators, leave me alone. Blame this guy over here instead. Jimmy Butler, you and I talk about it, is going to be seeking a 2-year, $90 million extension this summer that'll take him to his 38th birthday. But, okay, Big O, you could shake your head all you want.
No
but
shot.
You've become a manager of people. You have kept Sean Stanley in his place all these years. So my question to you is this. How do you, Big O, as Pat Riley—
Sean Stanley gets paid better than most people at QAM.
So there you go. You've taken care of your people. How do you explain to Jimmy this summer to keep him motivated, to keep him interested, but also tell him, let's hold off on the extension? How do you massage that?
Jimmy, I'm sorry, but we cannot look past this last contract with you. We've got to plan accordingly. We got to keep flexibility after that. As we get closer to that date, then we'll talk about it. But at the moment, we're not extending. We cannot give you that extension. There is no way that makes any sense to give Jimmy Butler an extension. That body is breaking down. You can only, what's left on this contract? 2 more years, right?
2 more years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's more than enough, dude. You give him 2 more on top of that. Those are 2 years. He's not going to play for you pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the reason why you were an 8 seed last year is because he cannot play a complete season anymore. And so, you know, that if you can't carry the load anymore for a complete season to help you be one of the top seeds, then I can't keep paying you that kind of money. I'm sorry.
But you have to do it in a subtle enough way to keep him motivated because you're still going to be in winning mode. You're still probably going to be deep in the place. All I'm saying is it's going to be difficult. It's going to be an interesting situation, which you will need all of Pat Riley's persuasive powers, all of Eric Spoelstra's persuasive powers, because right now with Jimmy out, and look, this is not the playoffs. This is stacking almost meaningless regular season wins. Jimmy Butler is a great playoff player. Jimmy Butler is a top 5 NBA playoff player. But during the regular season, Big O, the style that we're playing, like we spoke about at the top of this accurate Pembroke Pines report, it's fun. The ball's popping. It's moving. The Heat have found something special with this combination of Bam and Tyler and Jaime and Duncan, and it makes the games interesting and compelling, which is not always easy to do in December NBA basketball.
All right, one more thing before I let you go.
Sure.
We both love Caleb Martin. We both love his talent. Most Heat fans really appreciate what he brings to the table.
Agreed.
But there's one thing that's now that clearly has developed with Caleb Martin. He is injury prone. He cannot stay healthy. I don't even know how you answer this.
I can tell you how I answer it. It's when you have this fast twitch, explosive players, they put themselves in these kind of situations. So I think what's happening is when you deal with a fan, Caleb Martin.
Okay, it's his turn.
He's going to be a free agent in the Martin. So I would say anything is I like Caleb Martin. I want Caleb Martin on my team right now, but you also have to understand with a player like Caleb Martin, you can't go above and beyond. If you're outbid in the offseason, you know what you say, Big O? Welcome down, Haywood Highsmith. You're Caleb Martin right now. You have to understand you pay your elite. You get in trouble when you overpay your supporting players. And the beauty of the Miami Heat, there'll be another Caleb Martin. There'll be another Haywood Highsmith. Not meaning to denigrate those guys, but you have to take care of the top of the roster. He'd have done a pretty good job of that.
All right, what do you got going on in the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Well, again, I'm just going to go back and look at Jaime Jaquez's game and what he has going on because it is remarkable. And I did write in my Ask Ira today, not right now. He's filling in for Jimmy Butler. But I think we're all sort of looking at Jaime Jaquez will be a starter of the future with this team. So you have to start rethinking, how's this thing going to play out with Tyler, with Jimmy Butler? Where are you going to go in that direction? And then I'm going to talk about, like we did on our accurate Pembroke Pines report, the upcoming 5-game trip. And what I like about this trip is this. They built themselves a ramp by getting 6 games over 500. So if it's 2-3, if it's 3-2, you're still going to come back in a good place. This is sort of perfect for the Heat. They can find their way while the Dolphins have all the attention. And when the Dolphins move aside, I think you're going to find yourself, Big O, in the middle of a compelling Miami Heat season. They're tied for 4th place in the East right now. They're absolutely trending in the right direction.
And we'll leave it with this. Sean, create this poll question for the rest of the show. Ira Winderman, I ask you this question. Who is the best Miami Heat player in the next 5 years? Tyler Hero or Jaime Jaquez Jr.?
I'm going to go off. Sean, make a third chart because I'm going to go with Bam Adebayo because I think two-way players often get understated. Not a super role player anymore. He scored 22 as much as Tyler Hero last night. He gets it done on both ends of the court. You cannot overstate what Bam does defensively also. You don't see it in the college.
I'm giving Bam props this year. He is taking a step forward.
But of those two, I'll go with Jaime. I'll go with Jaime because he has the kind of polished game. Here's the deal. You bring in a Donovan Mitchell, and I might say to you, Big O, can Tyler play with Donovan Mitchell? And we might debate that, who needs the ball. The one thing you're seeing about Jaime Jaquez, like a Jimmy Butler, he can play with anyone. And he's done it this year. He's done it as a starter. He's done it as a reserve. He's done it as feature scorer. He's done it as complimentary scorer. Man, you love those guys that no matter who you have in there, he can play with them. Special players.
And I'll take Jaquez 31 points and 15 shots, then Tyler's 22 points on 25 shots. So, yes, I'll take the efficiency of Triple J overall. So, there you go. I'm with you there. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his exceptional work. Better yet, subscribe at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, as always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up next week.
Catch you next week from Cali. Thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks, Big O.
Happy New Year to you. Yes. And so who's the best player 5 years out? Tyler Hero or Jaime Jaquez? We're going to put that up. It's your Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. There you go. And you got your QR code right there. Remember, if you have a Hard Rock app already, an account, use a different phone number or a different email so you can open up the account with Hailey and you can get your $100. Okay? Free $100, man. Use that QR code. Make sure you sign up. Sorry about the freezing there going on there a little bit. That happens with the internet. 42,449 right now. Nice little dip for some of you out there, man. Nice dip. Excuse me. All right, what else do we have going on? There we go. What do we got so far? 79% are picking Triple J. 21% go to Tyler Hero. All right. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Hateful Steve says, I love this. This is why Hateful Steve gets the label. We love him, but, he's hateful. So in 4 games against winning teams, 2 has 4 touchdowns. Epic performance, by the way. But we're supposed to believe he's going to beat this Ravens team. I can't wait to hear the evidence that backs up that prediction. Well, what? They beat him last year with Tua down by 21. They beat him the year before with Brian Flores on a week that he didn't even practice. That's the week that Brian Flores told me, we don't need you this week. Go away, kid. I've got jabroni. What do I need you, Tua? Then Jabroni gets injured in the game against the Ravens, and they call on Tua, and then Jabroni thinks he's ready to go back in, and Flo says, no, hold up. I don't know what proof you need, Steve, but I've watched Tua 2-0 against the Ravens the last 2 years. And 2 years ago, that team wasn't nearly as good as this team. And they had Mark Andrews. Now they don't have Mark Andrews. I'm not exactly sure, but hey, you stay hateful, and thank you for the Venmo. I appreciate it. Chris Fanzini on Venmo, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Great show. Big O props to Jason plus the offense and O-line coach. Yes, I agree with that. Jason Sanders. Jason Sanders is having a moment that, as easy as he got off the hot track, because Sanders was awesome. And then, but it's been almost 2 years now, right? You could say that maybe the last couple months here, maybe he's getting back. Well, not last couple of weeks, maybe getting back on track, because he did miss a field goal a few weeks back. I forgot when it was, but it was a little bit back. But he hasn't been the guy that they first drafted, right? Why can't we say this about Jason Sanders? Okay, because it's so easy to say the negative, right? So easy. Look, I don't trust his ass, right? I lost all trust in the guy. So why can't we say he found his mojo back now? Maybe this was the moment. Just like there are moments that things don't go well for you and you're not hitting 50-yarders and what was he, like 1 of 6, 1 of 7 or something stupid like that, right? He was like on a terrible funk that he could not hit a 50-yarder. Nobody had confidence in the guy. At that point, there was no reason to have any confidence in Jason Sanders. Okay, and that's all fair. Should we have another poll question now, Sean? Should we now have faith in Jason Sanders from here on out? Yes or no? Because that 5 field goal performance was the most clutch performance of his career. Every one of those kicks was needed. In fact, our goofy-ass coach at times, it should have been 6 kicks. He should have taken the kick early in the game. That was stupid on McDaniel's part. Let's be honest now. That was terrible on that was horrible coaching on his part. Back-to-back injuries, nothing's going well for you, and you decide to go for it on 4th down? That's stupid shit. So Jason Sanders should have had 6 field goals. But you needed every one of those, including the 3 in the 50-yard range, including a career-long 57. So if it's fair enough to say Jason Sanders sucks, Jason Sanders cut him, Jason Sanders get rid of him, go find another kicker in the offseason. If we're entitled to say that, are you entitled at this moment to say I'm back on the bandwagon? I think he found his mojo. I mean, I don't know how it gets any bigger than that right now. Poll question out. Should we now have faith in Jason Sanders going forward? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Brother, you kicked 5 field goals, 3 of them in the 50, and you wore an ugly Christmas sweater with pride? Well, that's guts. More guts than some of you out there already folding with the Ravens. Because some of you have the balls of Bradley Beal. Some of you gutless Dolphin fans out there. I don't even know if I should call you a Dolphins fan. Already folding the tent, thinking that Baltimore's already got the game. You people are an embarrassment to the Dolphin Nation. I just want you to know. Okay? Anyway. X is a Honda Accord with 200,000 miles, still reliable, but can give out at any moment. That's think Blue Dodgers. That's a pretty good analogy because Honda's pretty reliable. A Honda Accord will still work at 200,000 miles, but something could happen. I like that. I like that analogy. I like it. That's good. Let's see. Damn, Big O, why everyone getting their feelings over X? He was a great player. Age and injuries are wearing him down. He can still make some plays this year. Better to move on from a player a year early. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. It is what it is, man. Mateo, thank you for the love in the super chat. Like what I see in Duke Riley. Hope he sticks. Oh, well, Duke's not going anywhere because he's a terrific special teamer. And if you've ever talked to Duke Riley, he's an exceptional person, too. That's the other thing you're going to like about Duke Riley. Mateo, also another super chat. E-Bonner might beat out Smith for X's spot. No, I don't think so. I'm not ready to, relax on Cam Smith. He's a rookie. I've seen lots of rookies have problems their first year. Don't overreact. I get it. The whole Iggy thing is what makes some of you all, get shell-shocked here. All right, let's do it. Hour number 2, and we started off with the one and only David Furones. Let's talk a little Dolphins football next.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. How you feeling, my man? Feeling
I'm
good?
doing well. How are you? Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad. Prosperos año y felicidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Did they jam that at all in your house? Not in mine.
Yeah, absolutely. that and all the other songs probably heard.
Okay.
Times
We
each,
jammed
you know?
no Christmas songs in our house this year. No, none. Not even no Jose Feliciano or anything whatsoever. All right. Should we trust Jason Sanders? Because Jason Sanders wasn't trusted at all in the Dolphin Nation. But this was his greatest performance ever with his career-long 57-yarder on top of that. He really should have had 6 field goals if Mike McDaniel used some common sense at the beginning of the game. But he didn't, and so he went for it, unfortunately. But your thoughts on Jason Sanders? Should the Dolphin Nation trust him, or they still need to see more?
There will be no greater time to trust Jason Sanders than right now after what we saw against Dallas. 350-yarders, that's a career high, a career long with the 57-yarder. So now you're even feeling good about him if he's in a late game scenario where you don't get the ball, or you maybe get the ball just to the 40, then that's right about 57 yards. So you feel good about that scenario. And then just the clutch aspect, back-to-back regular seasons, he ends up kicking the team into the playoffs with a clutch field goal. And this one was the difference between winning and losing the game. No time on the clock. You're down. So if you blow it somehow, then it's a catastrophic loss. And he just very calmly puts it through the goalpost. So loving what I'm seeing from Jason Sanders right now.
So Waddle done till the playoffs, right? And you don't even know if he's going to be available for that even first playoff game, right?
Yeah, well, we just know it's high ankle. We don't know if it's a high ankle sprain, which would be bad. Mike McDaniel, I'm trying to read between some of the things he said yesterday in a Zoom call with us. So very kind to join us on Christmas Day in the evening. And so he said those could be very tricky. So that leads me to, okay, well, but that they also need to get more information, and that he doesn't expect Waddle to be out very long with it. What is very long, because every game is important. He needs to play this Sunday.
He's not
this Sunday is already too long.
There's no way he's playing this Sunday. No way. There's no way. It doesn't make sense, because you're going to the playoffs, right? Okay, so why would you risk further injury with him at this point? It makes no sense. Try to get him healthy for the playoffs. So I would imagine you're not going to see him over the next 2 weeks now. That's what I think is going to end up happening. So does Cedric Wilson take a bigger role here, because he's kind of the guy that's being used a lot? We thought Craycraft would be the guy, and Craycraft coming back never really materialized as a third guy. Barrios has been on and off. Chase Claypool has not really been featured yet. So who's the guy that steps up? Is it Cedric?
Yeah, it would be Cedric, and then a combination of using the tight ends more, I would think. I know that's what Mike McDaniel, I think, wants to get done in year 3 in this offense. That would be maybe the next step of evolution, is to also get the tight ends involved in the passing game, not just blocking. No tight end actually has a touchdown yet this season, and we are going into week 17, so which is just an eye-popping stat. But
that's why they went for Waller 2 years ago. They wanted Laporta in the draft.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years in a row they have wanted the dynamic tight end, and they couldn't. Although Waller had a big drop yesterday, by the way. But anyway, and then obviously Laporta has been a star for Detroit. He has been a monster. That's going to be a priority this offseason. That's a missing element from this offense for Tua and for McDaniel. They've wanted it badly. They've gone 2 years in a row after one. I would expect that they're going to do whatever it takes to land that dynamic tight end to this offense.
Yeah. So if they are without Waddle, then I wouldn't be surprised if you get Durham Smythe, his first touchdown of the season, Julian Hill maybe if they can get him in some red zone situations, and then the running backs involved more in the passing game too. Raheem Mostert has been a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield, really adding that into his game, and then Devon Achane, obviously you can get him involved that way too. Hey, even you got a lot of snaps from Jeff Wilson, although. They'll use him more in like the ground and pound situations. You saw at the end of the game needing that first down. I mean, he got a big 8 yards on 1st and 10, then 3rd and 2. He picks that one up. He's all hyped as the Dolphins were then able to run out the clock. So Jason Sanders' field goal was with no time remaining.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting to see how they use that second wide receiver and how creative they get with that second wide receiver. And then the question is, Tyreek isn't healthy either. So your number one wide receiver is probably playing somewhere in the 80-85% range.
Yeah. So that's a big concern. I mean, he was able to make it through this game, had his 9 catches, 99 yards, looked explosive oftentimes, but even when he made that first catch and then the slide, then he was a little gimpy. He came off to the sideline saying he was good, but still, able to muscle through the game, but he's not going to be 100% the rest of the way. It's just he's got that ankle. It's going to be something. He's got to play a game every week now. So, and especially if Waddle can't go, then you really need Tyreek Hill to play. But also just with Waddle then not playing, I mean, there's so much at stake in these games. Yeah, you're in the playoffs, but if you win both, you're able to get the number 1 seed, meaning you can get a bye and then have some rest that way at the beginning of the postseason. Or clinching the number 2 seed means that you get a number 7 team in the wild card round, and then you're at home again. The Dolphins haven't hosted a divisional round game since the 92 playoffs. So that would be huge. You only have to win 1 road game en route to the Super Bowl if you get that scenario. So, I mean, there's a lot at stake. If you lose both, and the Bills end up taking the division, you're down to number 6 and probably facing a trip to Arrowhead. So there is a lot at stake in these games, even if you are in the playoffs already.
Are you expecting Austin Jackson to play this week since he was active, but they still started Kendall?
That seems like the natural progression. It seems like he was, and I asked Mike McDaniel yesterday, the whole situation was that he just couldn't start and play a whole 60 minutes of football. So he was available in case of an emergency. Maybe could have, if someone went down in the 3rd quarter, could have gotten you to the finish line, but not able to play a whole game with that oblique and the limited mobility and pain tolerance that it would have required. So I expect now after he got to that point in 1 week, then with another week, I would think he'd be good to go.
Yeah, and kudos to him, by the way, Kendall Lamb. He is making money every game because he's been clutch for you at left tackle, and right's not his game, and yet he did a serviceable job again at right tackle. So Kendall Lamb is proving to be one of your underrated MVPs on this freaking team, dude. I mean, it is amazing to see how much they've gotten by with some of these backup linemen, and they've been able to, do their thing, overall. Speaking of that, how about Hunt? What do you think happens? Any chance for this week?
Well, I think just the way it's looking, how slowly it's progressed, I just still wouldn't see it. I think he needs to have a week where he just gets back to the practice field and then doesn't go in that game. So hopefully that happens this week. But to your point, just Kendall Lamb, the value of a swing tackle like that's been able to slide in at left tackle, and Teron Armstead, a 4-time Pro Bowler, has been out. And then Austin Jackson, the way he has played, that he has earned his contract this year, that then he goes out for a game and Kendall Lamb is able to be so serviceable in the game. Hey, Micah Parsons did not have a very big impact on the Dolphins. And that's with an offensive line that was already missing its 3 starting interior linemen from the start of the year. So, Isaiah Wynn has been out since week 7. Connor Williams is out for the season, and Robert Hunt, and he has missed now 6 of the last 7 starts with that nagging hamstring. Then you add to that, you don't start Austin Jackson because he's not yet quite ready. So then that's, again, that magic number of 4 offensive linemen down. We've had other games where it's one of those five that would have been starting at the beginning, whether it's and it's been either Hunt, it's been maybe Jackson. Oftentimes it's been Jackson that's been the only one. This time it was Armstead, and still this offensive line putting forth a valiant effort. That's 11 different starting O-line combinations. So it's just incredible that they have not had too many instances where they've just dropping off in protection.
What'd you think of last night? San Francisco fell apart, dude. Like, Jesus Christ, they gave that shit away. What'd you think of that game?
Yeah, all right. Well, Brock Purdy is not the MVP, so let's finish that right now. I mean, he was the MVP for the Ravens last night.
Four interceptions weren't his fault.
Okay, yeah, but man,
No,
still,
I mean, one he got hit, and the other one went off the guy's hands. He threw it right in; it just went right through him, and then ricocheted off, and it ended up becoming an interception. Two of the interceptions weren't his fault. He played like shit yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not defending how he played. I'm just saying the four interceptions weren't all his fault. That's all I'm saying. Two of them were his teammates' fault. And so shit does happen. I just want to be fair because I do it with Tua or anybody else, dude. Watch the games and then blame the person for their faults. But, if your old lineman isn't giving you time and the arm gets hit, that's not on the quarterback. And if the quarterback puts it in the I think it was a tight end, the backup tight end was the one that or maybe the big receiver that they have was the one that it ended up going through his hands. You know what I mean? So Purdy played like shit, but everybody else played like shit in San Francisco. Like they committed a bunch of stupid mistakes and penalties and turnovers. It was like a bad game for that team overall.
Yeah, I think one of them was a deflection at the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Yeah, and there were some circumstances. Trent Williams, he got injured during the game as well. Then even the Sam Darnold goes in at the end, and he was moving the offense better. I know it's different than once you're trailing by 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and the defense just doesn't want to give up the big play. But then suddenly he was moving the ball down the field. I can't believe Kyle Shanahan. He actually had a chance there. Granted, he would have needed an onside kick, but that 3rd and goal off the 2-minute warning had Darnold dropping back and running backwards to then get sacked instead of just giving it to Christian McCaffrey. You could have called 2, even if he gets stuffed, you could have called 2 plays at the 2-minute warning, so you know immediately what you go to, so you don't burn too much time, and then you still need an onside kick anyway. So worst case scenario is you're at like 120 or something, getting the ball right back if everything happens that you need. But boy, yeah, the Ravens looked like a monster after that. But the one thing, though, is that they will need to travel, or they just did. Obviously, they would have come back and landed back in Baltimore maybe a few hours ago. So after a Monday night game across the country, travel across a 5-hour flight, maybe more, to go from San Francisco to Baltimore, and then get back home in Tuesday morning, which is like 36 hours after the Dolphins started resting coming off the Cowboys game. So the big difference there, Dolphins also have to travel to Baltimore for the game, but that's obviously minimal compared to what the Ravens just went through in a very physical game. And with like Kyle Hamilton, their big safety, he got hurt in the game too. So something to monitor this week.
What are you going to pick?
Oh boy, well, I would say after seeing that game, I would think it's going to be the Ravens. I would have the Ravens winning. But I wouldn't be surprised based on some of those factors. If they come in a little banged up, the Ravens do, then now the Dolphins, well, they're also banged up without Jalen Waddle potentially. So, but I don't know what score I'd say, but yeah, I'm leaning toward Baltimore. In this one,
the Dolphins have handled in the last 2 years doesn't mean anything to you?
Yeah, well, handled them. They were also down 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and then the Ravens forgot how to play defense entirely at the end and left Tyreek Hill open deep on.
You know why it's funny? Like it's funny because people want big moments from Tua. What the fuck do you think 21 points down against Baltimore is?
Oh, that was epic.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you did this week. I said this before this game this week. This week against Dallas and next week against Baltimore is not more impressive than 21 points down against Baltimore. It's not more impressive than 2 years ago where he didn't practice all week. he went golfing, and then all of a sudden in the game they go, "Oh, Jabroni's hurt. We need you now." And he goes and he beats them. I mean, that's impressive. He beat him with Flores.
Right. In the Flores system with George got the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. No coach, no offense, no offensive line, no running game, and he beat Baltimore.
And he did that little dance in the end zone too.
Yeah. So why is everybody folding the tent now?
I mean, we just saw this Ravens team look awfully impressive against the team everyone was calling the Super Bowl favorites and in their house. So now
it's
not coming off that.
Expect you to throw 4 interceptions?
Oh no. Yeah, that was a big factor. Yeah. He was not going to pull a Brock Purdy in this game.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, unless 2 of the interceptions aren't his fault, then
okay, that's fine. But I don't know. I just kind of expect something different from the Dolphins compared to the Ravens. I kind of look at, I don't know. I'm watching the last 2 years with Tua, and I think this team is better than the one that beat the Ravens last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, this Ravens team is also better than the one that lost that game, too.
Well, they had Mark Andrews. They don't have him now.
Yeah, they don't. But even without him,
they just lost their running back 2 weeks ago. The 5th-round kid that was lighting it up in front of Gus Edwards. I don't know, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was saying
you are right. They are better at receiver because they added Flowers and OBJ.
Yeah.
So they are better at receiver. They're not better at tight end because
absolutely not.
Mark Andrews is a monster. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like the 3rd or 4th best tight end in the end. What is he? Right behind Kittles and Kelsey, right? This Mark Andrews is probably 3rd.
Right. It's probably him, and then maybe someone would throw in Hawkinson.
Darren Waller. He's past Darren Waller.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, put him with Darren Waller. And then now, I mean, Sam Laporta skyrocketing up that. He could get into that conversation very quickly.
Boy, the Dolphins were on target on that one, dude. He didn't fall to them, but that's the guy they wanted.
Hey, you know who else? David Njoku has been huge.
It's taken him like 6 years.
Yeah,
it's taken him like 6 years to finally, but he's finally to the sick ass potential he has because oh my God, I don't think there's a more physically talented tight end than David Njoku. That guy is a freak, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Joe Flacco has unlocked him.
Yeah. I mean, Njoku should have been a monster from the get-go with the talent that guy has, dude. He is so gifted. All right, so what are you expecting this week from McDaniel and company? If you had to guess, what kind of a game plan are we seeing?
All right, so I have to look into the Ravens more as far as all their different rankings and where they are now. I mean, we did just watch them really dominate San Francisco, but I would think, I mean, you have Tyreek Hill highly involved in this game plan, especially if Waddle is out, then he's going to get a lot of targets. And then go to that run game. You have to make sure. I mean, Christian McCaffrey was able to do his thing a lot of the time just last night. So keep going to that. Don't shy away from it, and especially if you don't have Waddle. And then get those tight ends involved as well. I want to see that sort of because they haven't shown it too much. They've shown it a little bit more. Durham Smythe has had his last 2 games an uptick in production. So if you get the tight end involved more, then that's something that you haven't really put out there too much. Then an uptick there, and then you need one of the receivers. If it's Cedric Wilson, Robbie Chosen now he's in the concussion protocol, so that would be tough on his end, but. Just someone, if it's Braxton Berrios, if it's River Craycraft had a touchdown in that Baltimore game last year, then someone from that group to step up.
All right, wrap it up with this. The 8th and final IR spot is that been done, or is there one more IR spot to come back from? Is it Win? Is it Hunt? What is it? I'm a little confused.
Well, Hunt is not on IR right now, so he's just on the active roster. Same as Javon Holland, even though he has missed the last 4 games. So they have the one spot, and then so Jerome Baker would be available after this game. That he would meet the 4 weeks, and then Isaiah Wynn. Yeah, whenever they want. But I asked McDaniel last week, and he said Wynn coming back was not yet even on his radar. So at this point, that seems unlikely. It seems like it would be Baker, unless he ends up having a setback. But he's been working. We see him sometimes after practice. We're walking into the locker room and or coming back from locker room availability, and he's doing some work to try to get back from the MCL injury. So
that makes sense. That it's Baker. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. So
right.
The win one doesn't sound promising at all.
No, it's not on the radar yet. Then it doesn't seem like it.
Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Better yet, subscribe. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Thank you, Big O.
You got it. Welton Rayom, they are the law office you want to hire. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Folks, one of the things that the most important thing you do now when you have any of this stuff happen to you is hiring the right lawyer nowadays, more than ever, because the new laws here that DeSantis passed did not favor us. Okay, the insurance companies used to pay the attorneys' fees. Now it's coming out of your pocket. So you better make sure you have the best coverage possible so you can get the most money possible so you can make sure you fix what is damaged. Because now you have been put at a disadvantage by your governor, okay? So make sure, whether it's Welton Rayom or someone else, I'm telling you because I saw them firsthand bring Progressive to their knees. So if you've got to deal with homeowner property damage or condo damage or any kind of business owner claims or something like that, please make sure you hire the right lawyers because it's going to make a huge difference for you. 954-966-4646. You may not need it now. You may need it in the future, but save it on the cell phone. Welt and Rayom, and tell them that Big O sent you. 954-966-4646. Offices in Hollywood. They've also got an office in the Keys, but you can call them anywhere in Florida, and they'll take care of you. The consultation is completely free. Ask them, talk to them about your case. They'll tell you if you have a case or not. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
You guys know me. I don't care about Democrats. I don't care about Republicans. I just call it like I see it. And boy, that new insurance law, he screwed us majorly, big time. He favored the insurance companies. JN, thank you for the love on the super chat. Besides X and possibly Ogba, who else you see being cut and extended both offseason defense? I see the next 2 games with W's, playoff, different animals and mindset. Jay, I mean, I don't think Wilkins comes back. It all depends on what he does down the stretch. And I mean, this kind of conversation is for off season right now. Right now we're in a high, bro. Let's talk about a team that's kicking ass and winning the biggest game it's won in decades. It never wins these kind of games, and it did. I want to enjoy this, dude. I want to enjoy. We got a quarterback. We got a pretty damn good coaching staff. We got, I think, one of the best front offices in the NFL, if not the best front office in the NFL. It's number 2 or 3. I think it's number 1, to be quite honest, but, that's just me. There's so much positives that let's not get into the negatives of the offseason of, the brutal stuff. We'll have plenty of time to talk about that. And I've mentioned it in passing, some guys that I think aren't going to come back. Cigar Social Club, thank you for the love in the super chat. Oh, do we sign AVG and Phillips or keep one eventually? Happy holidays, hermano. Hope you got a Perdomo 30th anniversary. Man, that is a great smoke, the 30th anniversary. I had one last week, actually. It was just that since the cold, it's been tough for me now. But they will sign AVG. Phillips will get tagged. Phillips no longer will get an extension. He will have to earn that extension. He won't come back till late next year. So you won't know enough about him. You'll probably end up tagging him, and then you'll find out if he can come back. One thing that Jalen Phillips has unfortunately shown us, he has a tendency to get injured. He is an injury-prone player, unfortunately. So he has to prove he can also stay healthy too. Okay. All right, let's do it. Let's go over the Canes. You know, we have the Bad Boy Movers Pinstripe Bowl. Let's do it. Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Yeah, there he is. He's psyched. He's ready to go. You're going to Yankee Stadium, right? You're going to go cover that Pinstripe Bowl, aren't you?
I will not be in New York this year, man. I did the New York trip 5 years ago. And the Athletic asked me to cover the debacle of the Orange Bowl and see what happens with Florida State. So I will be here. I'll be going to the Under Armour game, the Under Armour All-American game in Orlando, all that kind of stuff. So I'm on other assignment, but I will be watching the Canes on TV like the rest of you.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. By the way, the Orange Bowl. Does that have any juice left? Did they squeeze all the juice out of the Orange Bowl? Because
yeah. It's gotten bad, brother.
Oh, my God. I feel bad for Eric Palms and company, man. Those people work so hard. They're such great people putting together the Orange Bowl every year. And, oh, my Lord, nobody's going to care and watch that game. Which, by the way, I don't blame Florida State for any of this. I don't blame their bitterness. I don't blame that they're mad. They got screwed. But, boy, did they get really screwed because – you know what? All you got to do is go grab the officer and the gentleman scene, and then all you got to do, somebody's got to go out and do the editing. And there's a Richard Gere moment where he's just sitting on the floor after getting his ass kicked by Louis Gossett Jr., and he's crying, and he's telling him, I want your DA or whatever. I want your quitting or whatever. I'm not going to quit. I got nowhere else to go. It's got to be an FSU logo on it just saying, I got nowhere else to go. Because they got $570 million to get out.
Yeah, it's a rough situation. I feel for those guys because they obviously – I think Mike Norvell, you think about the job that he did over the last 2 years. Like, he worked his ass off to get that team to 13-0, and then – to basically end like this, it's really devastating, which is why I've sort of hypothesized that while Florida State can enjoy what it accomplished this year and going 13-0 winning the ACC title, I don't know how long Mike Norvell is for Tallahassee. And I know he hasn't come out and said anything, but think about it. Think about that. I mean, you're dealing with those financial issues, right? You have players fighting over money that they're not getting in NIL. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens at Florida State here in the next couple of years. But if there is a coaching carousel, and there's a lot of people who presume that Jim Harbaugh will be leaving Michigan. That will set the wheels in motion for a lot of movement, and who knows ultimately what a guy like Mike Norvell fits into all that.
My God, the people at FSU are going to go psychotic now if that happens.
Yeah, I've hypothesized that he somehow end up at LSU in the next few years. That's my theory, and we'll see if that's what plays out.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy stuff. All right, recruiting wise, they're still basking in the glory there at Coral Gables.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have a top 5 recruiting class after 7-5 season. You're fighting for a quarterback now, but between the transfer portal, I think they've got 5 guys now, 2 D tackles. What else did they pick up? A center. They've got enough talented guys there to survive. So they just need the quarterback, and we'll see what happens here with Cam Ward and when he decides to make a decision.
So what the hell is going on with Cam Ward, bro?
Yeah, well, listen, what I was told at the beginning of last week was by Friday, he would have a decision. Well, obviously, I think he's just continuing to figure out if he's going to go to the NFL or go to Miami and probably holding out for more money. This is the new world of college football, man. Like, all you got to do is get in the transfer portal before January 2nd. You don't have to sign right away. So you can drag this out as long as you want. You can make Miami really nervous if you want, or they can go out and just get another quarterback. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, I know there were a lot of people around the program that thought, oh, this would be over by now. It obviously isn't.
Yeah, no. Okay, is this a bad thing or is this a good thing that it's still going on? I don't
know if it's a good or bad thing. I'll tell you this. It would be a bad thing if there were not quarterbacks available. Like if Miami was simply waiting on Cam Ward and other guys had signed, if KJ Jefferson had ended up somewhere else, if Will Howard had already signed with somebody else, if you were out of options, it would be a bad thing. I think this is just a business thing. This is just the way college football works now. And look, there's openings at Miami, there's openings at Ohio State, and there's openings at Florida State. 3 quarterbacks are going to end up getting, signed and paid to go to those schools. So I think as long as there's available options that are quality options, then I don't think it's a bad thing for Miami. I just think it's a business thing.
What is the ACC going to do anything in its negotiations with the college football playoff system after what happened with Florida State?
What can they do? This is what they agreed to,
I got it. I ask you because you're the expert.
Yeah.
So I got to just bring it up just to bring it up because I don't know if they can or not.
No, they really can. I mean, listen, they're bringing in 2 new TV markets with SMU in the Dallas area and then Stanford and Cal in San Francisco. That's supposed to produce more TV dollars. So, you're producing more markets, you're producing more viewers. That's supposed to ultimately end up in producing more money as part of the ESPN deal. Whether or not that equates to satisfying programs like Florida State and Clemson and Miami, whoever else wants more money out of this thing, I don't know. I think ultimately Florida State's in a really tough spot because, look, they're going to be a 12-team playoff next year. The ACC champion will make the playoff every single year. Okay, that's a guarantee. But, outside of more revenue sharing and the champions being rewarded for making the college football playoff, there's really not. I mean, there's going to be a gap between the Big Ten, the SEC, and everybody else for years to come. And I don't know that there's an answer to solve this for the ACC beyond what it did, which is a small step, which is bring in 2 new TV markets and hope that produces better numbers for you and helps produce more money.
By the way, Josh brings up a point there. Why doesn't UM go after Arch Manning, bro? Come on, let's go.
Well, Arch is happy in Texas. That's the word anyway. And he's a guy that doesn't need money, right? Let's face it. He comes from a rich family.
Really?
He doesn't need any money. I think Arch is probably just fine. So look, let him enjoy life. Let him enjoy his situation. He likes being in Texas. He's going to be the man for 1 year and go to the NFL after that. It won't be next year because Quinn Ewers is coming back, but he'll be the guy in 25, and he's happy representing Texas in 25 and going to the NFL after that.
Damn, I thought he was living off food stamps and WIC, and maybe we could bring him in.
Not that Manning. Not that Arch Manning.
Oh, okay. What you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out, my man?
Well, we're going to have a new Until Saturday podcast. We're going to record that tomorrow. Me and the recruiting folks, Ari Wasserman, Grace Rayner, We'll have some, like I said, we'll have coverage of the Pinstripe Bowl. I'll be giving some thoughts on that right after the game. I'm going up to the Under Armour All-America game on Friday. There's going to be some media activities. I'll be there for that, and then I'll be back to cover the Orange Bowl. So, there's things going on. And then, of course, there's Cam Ward and transfer portal coverage. I know Miami's not done in the portal. They're still looking for guys at certain spots. I think they'll probably bring in another safety at some point. And we'll see what they do at quarterback. So there'll be plenty of news to track there.
All right, good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up later on in the week.
All right, brother. Good talking to you. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Here we go. Manny Navarro. We will talk to him after the Pinstripe Bowl. We'll talk to him on Friday, and we'll get the wrap-up because the Pinstripe Bowl is on Thursday. And no, I'm not doing a post-game show for that. Okay? I am not doing anything for the Pinstripe Bowl. That's no. No, we can't do that. We can't do that, man. No, that's no good. Mateo Smythe, 5 key catches. We need him more. They need a tight end badly, bro. They need a tight end badly. Should we have faith in Jason Sanders going forward? The poll question there on the chat board. It is 86% say yes. Don't we have the other can I find the other chat you only get one poll question at a time? Oh, I didn't know that. That sucks. Okay. All right. Let's see. Isaiah says Wilkins is getting tagged this offseason. He's not leaving. That's Chris Greer's first pick. Official GM Tua will play his 5th year next year. Wilkins will be a Miami Dolphin next year and beyond. I don't think so. I disagree with you on that one. And because of the people that they have to sign, I don't think they can afford to tag anyone because that's hard cap number. It doesn't get flexed. So we shall see what we shall see. As I told you, it all depends on how he finishes the season. He got no big sacks against the Cowboys. He's got to get big sacks against these teams and the playoffs in order for him to land the contract. All his sacks have come against the bad teams. So I don't think he's going to get that money that he wants. All right. Isaiah, I don't know if you watched the pregame show, but I kind of gave it to you in the pregame show. Where was it? Here you go. Where was it? All right, here you go. Leading into this game. Okay, leading into this game, he wants $22 million. Okay, stop being a fan. Okay, be objective and look at it objectively. Okay, Christian Wilkins wants $22 million a year. He wants Quinnen Williams type money. You are paying Zach Sealer 11. Listen to me now. Going into this game, I got to look at the numbers. I'm not going to add any of the numbers from this game. Okay? Well, you know what? Let's add the numbers just to be fair. Okay? Let me add the numbers with it. That way there's no BS and we get exactly the because I want you to see it for yourself because too many of you are just you're fans. You're fanatical. Isaiah right now is having a fanatical moment. He is not thinking sensible. Okay? Captain Sensible, well, that's different. That's with the damned. He's jamming. Captain Sensible. I lost most of you there. Most of you have no idea who Captain Sensible or the damned is. But just wanted to, throw in a little punk in there just for shits and giggles, right? Okay, so here we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so through this game, Zach Sealer has 51 tackles. Christian Wilkins has 56 tackles. 51 to 56. Sacks. Zach Sealer has 8.5 sacks. Christian Wilkins has 8. Tackles for losses. Zach Sealer has 10. Christian Wilkins has 10. Zach Sealer has an interception. Christian Wilkins has no interceptions. One wants 22. The other one's making 11. Justified? Or are you hyped up because you're a Dolphins fan and he's super likable and he's got a beautiful personality and he's a character, and are you caught up in the moment? Are you caught up with Hard Knocks and the relationship, and that you love that watching those two guys, how they get along and all that kind of stuff? Compartmentalize. Let's compartmentalize together. That word we love to use on this show. Let's separate the emotions. Let's look at the production and the money. Should you pay a guy twice as much money when he doesn't produce twice as much? 30% more? 10% more? 5% more than Zach Sealer? Why should I pay one guy twice as much money as I'm paying the guy I just signed? Would it not be a slap in the face of Zach Sealer? That would be an insult to Zach Sealer to give Christian Wilkins twice as much money as he's making when Zach Sealer might just be the better player. If not, they're equal. But right now, he's actually the better player. Remember, the guy at the top of your drafting is the same guy that was forced to trade Minka and found Holland and finds all kinds of defensive backs, safeties, defensive backs. He finds them all over the place. Drafting, undrafting, whatever. The same guy that found you Christian Wilkins found Zach Sealer. So why can't he find another player? Why pay? I'm just putting it all out there for you so you can leave the fan bullshit behind and really look at it objectively. Okay? It's not really worth it to tie up $22 million of your cap for a guy that doesn't produce more than the guy you pay 11. You can draft another one. You'll find another guy. I think it's more important to hang on to Jalen Phillips. I think it's more important to hang on to Andrew Van Ginkel, to be quite honest. I think it's more important to sign Javon Holland. I think it's more important to give Rob Hunt money than Christian Wilkins. You have to compartmentalize this. You have to get your emotions. They must not be involved in this decision. Because if it is, Christian Wilkins is so damn likable that he's going to win you over every time. And you can't allow that. You got to make the right decision, what's best for the team. So, there you go. Wonder if we go deep in the playoffs, will Wilkins change his tune? I don't know what his change in the tune. Wilkins will sign that $22 million contract, then wake up from that great dream and have some breakfast. Kevin Hunt says pay him. Franchise tag. I don't think there's a franchise tag for him this year. They have to pay so many people. I don't think they'll have the flexibility to be able to do it. The problem, Lofi, that you're not realizing, when you tag somebody, it becomes a hard cap number. So if you tag them and the number is 18, 21 million, it's a hard cap 21 million, 18 million that takes up of your cap space. Whereas if you sign them to a contract, you can then lower that first number, that first year, to 5 million and move everything else into a signing bonus in the following years. So you can play with the money.
When you sign somebody, you can then move the money around so it helps you, and then it'll hurt you down the line, but it'll help you early on. When you tag somebody, you are tagging them at their current rate, and it's a hard cap number. There's no way around it. There's no negotiating it. There's nothing. You're stuck with that salary for 1 year, and the hard cap number will take up that cap space. So because of the aforementioned players that they have to re-sign, I don't think they will have the luxury of tagging anybody and holding them, unless it's like a safety that doesn't really, like, safety don't command a lot of money. It might be 6 million, 8 million or some, unless it's some kind of a position like that, but a defensive tackle or a defensive end, that's a lot of money that they're going to have to tag. So I don't think so. Let's see. Good morning, Big O from Hopland, California. Good morning, Ron, on the all-night telethon. What happened to the cap? Not real. You can. Well, no, that's our boy Omar. Oh, well, Omar now realizes the cap is real. For years, he kept telling us that silliness. Oh, the cap isn't real and all that. Now he's figuring out that the cap is real, which is kind of interesting. You cover football and you don't realize the cap is real. But we do have people like that still, well, I mean, we got people that think the earth is flat. So what do you want me to do? I would trade Jalen Phillips. He doesn't have much trade value now, my man. That doesn't make any sense. Ron, you're not much of an investor, are you? You don't sell when it's low, and you don't buy when it's high. Just basic rules for you, Ron. Okay? You sell high. You don't sell low, Ron. Thank the Lord Ron is not in the front office. Attune the stone when you're on. Attune the stone. A little ELO for you. Wonder who will be pictured on the elevator. I'm thinking Sanders. Oh, I didn't even see the elevator this week. Wilkins is a great person and a good DT, but no way he should be getting paid $20 million. That's what he wants. Yes, sir. What do you got, Sean?
I was just saying Sanders was the elevator.
Oh, he was? Okay, cool. Good. I didn't see, you know what? I didn't even see the elevator deal this week. Not at all. Did not see it. Still have that cold. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. 980 West 22nd Street in Hialeah. My man Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. Heat last night defeated the Sixers 119-113. Jaime Jaquez, 31 points, 10 assists, and 2 steals. Bam was outstanding. 26 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, playing like a stud. They've got Golden State on the road on Thursday, 10 o'clock. Raiders defeat the Chiefs 20-14. Eagles defeat the Giants 33-25. Ravens over the Niners 33-19. Panthers are off tonight, Wednesday. They will take on Tampa Bay at 7 o'clock. That is the face-off. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar, custom printing, and embroidery. Call my guy, Alan Blanco. Great people. 786-618-1443. By the way, yesterday, Eagles and Giants, and they benched Tommy DeVito. And it's, it's a cutesy story. It's like the Joshua Dobbs thing. And I love how in the NFL, right, it is such a Teflon league, because you think about it, there's such mediocre football all over the place. Tons of teams that are just hanging around 500, because the league is built for you to be right around 500, basically. And the most important position in all of pro sports, not just football,
pro sports, period, it's the quarterback. And yet, in basketball, the regular season doesn't mean shit. And people buy tickets and they watch it, and some even argue about it, and they take the regular season way too serious when the league doesn't really give a shit about the regular season. And then you look at the NFL and the amount of backup quarterbacks that end up playing. And you have a Tommy DeVito, the passing paisano, Tommy Cutlets, because now he what's that called? The trademarked those things now. And, this guy's a jag. Just like Joshua Dobbs, same shit. He has a moment, and, you try to tell people it's just a moment. Relax. They're pro players. They can all have the best. They can have a week, a month, even a year sometimes. They can get lucky and things will go their way. But more often than not, Mitch Trubisky and Joshua Dobbs and Bailey Zappi and Zach Wilson and Jake Browning and Desmond Ridder and Case Keenum and Daniel Jones and Fields and, God, I don't know, Tim Boyle. Jesus Christ. I mean, the amount of shit that plays the quarterback position in the NFL, it's amazing, dude. And we watch it. And we watch it. We'll turn on a game that we know both teams have backups in it. And you're like, what the hell am I watching? I mean, this league is Teflon. It can get the ratings, it can get everything, the support, and yet their team after team is constantly fielding one bad quarterback after, because we don't even have 16 in the entire world. There aren't 16 good quarterbacks. So to get to 32, forget about it. Forget about it. We're getting close to 64. Only the NFL can get away with shit like that, man. Only the NFL. Nobody else. Oh, there it is. Nice. That's the moment where he's counting them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was good. That was good by him. That was good. By him wearing that Christmas sweater, that's just the best right there. So what'd you think of Jack Jones, Sean, and the kid? You know what I'm talking about? Huh? No? Okay. Well, take off essential moving there. The Raiders end up scoring a touchdown. So Jack Jones, on an interception, right? So Jack Jones goes to the end zone there to give the ball to a Kansas City kid. Psych. And he walks away. Psych. I got to tell you, I love this. I freaking love this. And and let me call out the parents to the right and to the left. You, sir and ma'am, are pathetic parents. Okay? Because that's a Raider coming up to a Chief fan to hand them a football. You know what you're supposed to do right there at that moment? You're supposed to say, get out of my face. See, at least those Cubs fans, you hit a home run there, and they grab that ball and throw that shit right back out onto the pitch or the diamond or whatever. Well, if they can reach the diamond, that's pretty impressive. But they throw it right back onto the outfield. And that kid, they're raising it. You know, some of you weak fans, those weak Dolphin fans, that's you right there. Weak ass Dolphin fan reaching for a Buffalo Bill handing you a football. Are you kidding me? That kid's supposed to load up a loogie and fire it right in that Raider's eye. The one that doesn't have the patch. How do you like them apples? That's what you're supposed to teach your kid at that moment. Slap that ball away. Look at him like, get out of here, Raider. Spit at his ass. That's what you got to do. Light his ass up for trying to tease you with a football. We don't want a Raider football. We want a Chiefs football. It's like a Dolphin fan taking the Bills handing. Josh Allen comes to hand you a football. You're taking it? I'm telling Josh Allen to get the hell out of my face. That's what I'm doing. I'm throwing my beer on Josh Allen. So Bailey Zappi's running over to give you the football. You're taking it? Huh? Sorry, there. Sauce Gardner's coming up to hand you the football, Dolphin. You're going to reach out? No, you're throwing your Coke right on Sauce. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. The NFL's weak ass. You're throwing your Pepsi on him. I'm throwing my Pepsi sauce on Gardner. That's what I'm doing. That's a terrible, weak fan that guy's raising. That's a bad father.
Can you put that back up there, real quick?
Well, I just took it down. I erased it.
Oh, because did you see the fan sneaking in behind the kid?
Oh, no, wait. Hold on. I can pull it back up again. Give me a second.
I was trying to catch you, but then you went away real quick.
Okay, let me see.
Watch the guy sneaking in behind the kid.
There's another cheesy Chiefs fan trying to reach over.
I think he was actually going to swat it out of his hands if he took it.
Oh, see?
That's what I was going to say. There look like there's a fan that's there that's kind of swiping up, but I don't know if he's swiping up to grab the ball or swiping up like if he would have knocked it out of his hands.
But you're with me here, right? Those parents are raising a weak kid, right? I mean,
if anything, you accept it and then you throw it right back at him, like the Cubs fans do with home runs.
Okay, you know what? I can go for that. All right, here we go. I got it now. Again, I had to find it. Okay, so let's see.
See him sneaking right there.
Oh yeah.
Then see his arm swinging out like.
Oh, that guy's my hero. He was going to whack it. He was going to whack it out.
Yeah.
He was whacking it. He was sweeping. Good eye on your part there, Sean. I want to get that guy on the show. That's a real Chiefs fan there. That's a real fan right there. Weak ass kid. I like it. That guy's a real fan. Whack that crap out, bro. Dump your beer on his ass. I don't want your football, you chump. Get out of my face.
And also, I think Kevin Haunt says it correctly. Those parents were there for Taylor Swift. They're not real football fans. They're Swifties.
That's it. Ron is on it, bro. Or Hans. Who was it? Those parents were primarily there for, yes, soft-ass Swifties. That's it. Notice how the Chiefs have gotten soft since the Swifties showed up. They're all sensitive and stuff now. Look at that. I mean, I think Mahomes is close to crying on the sidelines. Weak-ass fans accepting a ball from a Raider. I mean, you can't be a real Chiefs fan anymore. I can't wait to show Matt Verderame that. I want to see what Matt Verderame has to say about that. Matt Verderame, the fan, ain't going to accept no ball from no Raider. That's like Thurman Thomas coming over to me, trying to hand me a ball after he scores a touchdown on my Dolphins. Shit, I might jump the wall and kick his ass. Get arrested, but I don't care. Insult me by trying to think I want your little football. Stinking Bill, get out of my face. As for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson this season, Josh Boyer was right. Blitzing them is the best of the bad options. Rushing 4 is wrong.
because even one guy gets there, that guy won't sack the QB. Well, Miami doesn't blitz as much, and they're one of the most pressured teams in the NFL. So they do a pretty good job. Listen, they've taken care of business the last 2 years. They can do it again. I'm not worried. So, Big O, that's as bad as the blind ass fan. That's it. I'm with you. That is a blind ass fan.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
He pulled the ball in the back because the guy in the back of the kid was going to take the football from the kid. I think he was going to smack it away. I think the Raiders kept it away on purpose. Raiders and Chiefs are hated rivals. I wouldn't grab that ball if it was a Jet player. I wouldn't. That's for sure. I'd smack that crap out of his hand and throw a beer on him and tell him, get the hell out of here. Get out of my face. That's what I would have done. I would have been an instigator there. He probably would have had to, jump the fence and kick my ass. And he would have, but I would have won again because I would have sued him. Big O, you're forgetting about Teddy Bridgewater. Poupart said he would be almost as good as Tua. That's one that none of us will let go, huh? Karoon says, remember how high people were on Fields after the Dolphins game last season? The Finns won and Tua was an afterthought, but the media was gawking at Fields. And it was all his legs, pretty much. Big O, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Oh, come on, bro. There's only one. We all know Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. Okay? Let's see. Oh, do you think the Dolphins should have gotten D-Hop when he was available? No. Not really. And D-Hop wanted money, so that is not feasible. You do know that, right? Miami could not pay him that money. They don't have that kind of money. What are they paying him? I want to say it's somewhere in the 12 to 14 range. So it doesn't make any sense to that's not in other words, that's not something that's legitimate. You can't call that like, oh, they should have done this only in hindsight now because Waddle's injured. I mean, that's some of the weakest ass shit I've ever seen in my life. You were never talking about D-Hop throughout, but now that Waddle's injured, now you're going to bring up D-Hop? Like that's something that's weak. I'll pull it up now, but I'm pretty sure they're paying him a pretty penny. Because if I remember correctly, I was laughing when they signed him because they paid him a lot of money. And they didn't really have to, I think. Let's see. They are paying him $15.3 million. He's got an 8.7 base salary, and then they gave him the rest in a signing bonus. So, yeah, it's not good. Not good. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a dead cap number of 10.9 this year. Cash salary $12 million. Next year it'll be $13 million. They can get out of it with a $12 million hit. Potential out after 2024. $12 million and a 7.8 dead cap hit. So yeah, I would not want to do that if I'm them. 12 million, I was right. I said 12 to 14, it was 12. Miami couldn't pay him that money anyways. But you can use it that way if you want. But it's not an accurate thing to complain about, and it's not accurate that they could add him to the cap. Big O, Robert Hunt was out a few games this season compared to Wilkins, who didn't miss a game. Yeah, I know that. That doesn't matter to me whatsoever. Robert Hunt doesn't really miss games. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time he's missed games in his career. You know, shit happens, bro. It's football. I'm still not paying somebody double of what I'm paying another guy half of, and he gets the same production. That just doesn't make sense to me. So, hear me out. The way I see it, Baltimore comes home and underestimates Miami, riding the high of the W at San Fran. Miami tattoos Baltimore with a beatdown. Can't do that, Emilio. They've lost 2 years in a row to them. They have it on film. They're going to remind them, hey, we lost to this team even with Brian Flores when they didn't have a coach and they didn't have an offense, and they still lost to them. So disagree, my brother. Miami is not sneaking up on anybody. They've won 11 games, and they've beaten Baltimore 2 straight years. Not sneaking up on anybody. Let's see. Josh says, I would have gotten the ball and thrown it back. That's what you're supposed to do. And hit him on the head with it, too. That's what you got to do. Smack him on the head. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Hey, next week, we're going to be at Top Gun Indoor Range. And we've been telling you about Top Gun now for a couple of weeks. Proud sponsor of our program now, going on in a couple months. And we're going to have a shooting contest in January, late January. Got some targets and everything here. Yeah, baby. Seriously, that's one of the targets. Anyway, you can actually score it with your phone and everything. It's pretty cool. So we're gonna have some fun with it. Steve and company, they're gonna come up with prizes. So are we. So make sure you join us for this in January. They've got customer service, family atmosphere. The last time I was there was a group of ladies. And there's a reason why, because unfortunately, the world we live in now and the state we live in, we have no choice. And we've got to do our due diligence and got to be smart. And sometimes our ladies are left alone at the house. Well, if you have a firearm, do they know how to use it? And at Top Gun, they understand this. And so they have self-defense classes for women, from basic pistol to even concealed weapons courses. And it's also available in Spanish. So let's be smart. Let's not look the other way when we know what's going on around us. Let's be prepared. And by the way, those of you that are gun enthusiasts, they've got a great range there. 18 different lanes, 25 yards deep, which is the longest distance of an indoor range in Dade County. If you're into archery, they've got archery lanes there also. The only indoor public archery lane in South Florida. Top Gun Indoor Range. Latest air quality and targeting systems. You're going to love it. And by the way, their targeting systems, it's like put on a board and it goes all the way back. Not like on some, clothespin and it's folding forward and it's tilting. And no, dude. These things are put right as deep as you want and as steady as you need it in order to have a great shot and, of course, a great experience. So check it out, 305-306-7333 for Top Gun Indoor Range. All right. Let me get a little sum for the throat here. Who remembers Jason Taylor ripping a Cowboys fan sign? Yeah, they were. That one was floating around social media all last week. The one of the Dolphins ripping off, Jason Taylor ripping off the Cowboy sign. That one was all over social media leading up to this game. That was a nice refresher. What else do we have here? Dan B, thank you for the love on the super chat. Very nice of you, sir. Sticker and all. Merry belated Christmas, Big O and Sean. I tried to get this to you Friday, but wouldn't send Happy New Year. Let's have another big win Sunday. It's coming, man. Boys are going to win. Mateo says, thank you for the love in the super chat. With Waddle out, it's Claypool time. I think it's going to be more Cedric is what it's looked like. Mateo, I've been waiting for Claypool, and man, that shit doesn't happen. It's crazy. Let's see. Sario, I tend to agree with your takes, but Christmas Vacation has to be the best Christmas movie. Okay. I have no problem with that. Rob Hunt and Connor Williams rarely miss games outside of this year. Yep. Very durable. Cowboys turned the ball over in the red zone without a hit from defense. Big O, I'm happy for a lot of things. Family, health, etc., but I'm extremely grateful for you and Sean. You guys are a blessing for fans like me. You guys are truly the best. Thank you. Very nice. True Fin Fan, thank you. And remember, Sunday, walk-ons, Ravens, Dolphins, and we'll have prizes and giveaways. Okay? So join us this Sunday, 1 o'clock. Our pregame will start at 11 a.m., and then we'll have the postgame show. So come on out and join us. Final regular season broadcast on the road, out on the road instead of studio. We'll be back in studio the following week for the Bills, unless another place steps up, and then we'll get it done. Let's see. And you'll be there. Thank you, True Fin Fan. Do we need to get a Howard replacement for next? Well, we'll worry about that then, bro. Okay? Don't worry about that right now. That's not important right now. Live in the moment. Let's not worry so much about free agency next year. Remember, we used to have to do those things when this was a team that was out of the playoffs like 6 weeks ago. And we're talking, draft position, which, by the way, the Dolphins are picking 28 in the draft right now. But that's what we normally used to do at this time of year. What draft position? What are they doing in the draft? What do you think? Who they're going to lose? All that kind of stuff. We don't need to talk about those things anymore. Let's let the week develop. And tomorrow they start their preparations for the Ravens. And who's healthy? Who's back? How's this Ravens matchup? What do they got to do? Let's live in the moment, man. Your team is trying to lock up the number one seed in the next 2 weeks. I don't know how it gets more exciting than that. I don't know why you want to bog yourself down with worrying about what's going to happen next year. It's just enjoy this. It's not like this is happening every year to you. I hope it does, but it hasn't happened in 30 years. So enjoy the moment. Enjoy what's actually going on. Let's see, what else do we have? Tua Tagovailoa. After we're done now here in week 16, Tua's ranking, passing yards, number 1 in the NFL. Completion percentage, number 1 in the NFL. Passer rating, number 2 in the NFL. Yards and attempt, number 2 in the NFL. And wins, plus minus, number 2 in the NFL. So for the guy that a lot of people said couldn't play, couldn't throw the ball deep, yeah, they only opened up this game this past week with 2 bombs that he threw, money bombs. Money to Tyreek, and he dropped it, and then Waddle ended up catching the only one he was able to catch in that game, the 1 reception for 50 yards. But for the guy, it's too short, didn't have an arm, can't throw deep, can't run a
a high-powered offense, all of that. It's amazing how he leads in stats. And it's funny to watch Patrick Mahomes struggle because you watch the incompetence around him and you understand. At least those of us that understand football. But it reminded me of Tua and those of you that don't understand football. Because the first 2 years on this platform, we tried to explain to you that nothing's wrong with Tua. Everything's wrong with what's around him. No talent, no coaches, no game planning, no real play design, no offensive line, no running game. It's really hard to be successful when your coach hates you and is also incompetent. But a lot of you didn't understand that. And so I'm laughing because I'm watching Patrick Mahomes nearly have a panic attack on the field. I mean, he looked flustered. And we're talking about a 2-time world champion. But at no point did I just say, Pat Mahomes sucks. Pat Mahomes can't play. I just put, here you go, morons. Watch Pat Mahomes struggle because all of the incompetence around him. See? It's not just Tua that needs help. Pat Mahomes needs help. If not, he's not going anywhere. Oh, Dan Marino, he ain't going to win shit either if you don't give him help. So it doesn't really matter if you're Dan Marino or you're Steve Young or you're Pat Mahomes. If you don't have support, it's not a Tua thing. It's just a quarterback thing. You might win some games, but are you really going to end up winning big ever? Nah. You'll do something because the guy can play ball and help you out, but you're never really going to get over the hump unless you give him the help he needs. And Mahomes was a perfect example of a guy that, I mean, he looked flustered. It was getting to him. Or maybe it already got to him, I should say. The incompetence around him, the frustrations with the talent around him, the receivers. It was all there, man. Pretty obvious that he was hurting big time. Big O, any word on how serious Javon Holland is injured? It's super serious, my man. It's 2 sprained MCLs. Obviously, if he's not coming back that quickly, but I think you'll have a chance here in the next week or two. I think he's getting closer, but it's sad, man. It's tough. It's hard for him to, heal up for something like that. And Javon Holland is so important to this team. This is one of those that, I mean, they're all like this because they treat them all like this, but you certainly cannot rush this. Because if he blows a ligament, now you're going to lose him for next season. Because we're so late in the season, you're going to lose him for most of next year again. You can't do that. So you've got to be really careful with Javon Holland when he does come back, that he is 100% and he is not trying to overcompensate for one knee or the other that hasn't healed. Because a sprained MCL will create instability in the knee. And you just can't have that. So they've got to be very, very careful with Javon Holland. I watched Brady struggle when his O-line was bad and he yielded at his line and he yelled at his line just like Mahomes. Yeah. Except Brady's receivers were never this bad. They might be small and short or whatever, but they all could catch the ball. I don't care if it was Danny Amendola or Wes Welker or whoever he had there playing. Troy Brown, over the years, they all had hands. I can't say that about Mahomes right now. Let's see. Facts, Big O on Holland injury, yes. They beat Seattle 37-3. I don't know. Oh, that must be another conversation. Let's see. Do we pay to a top 5 QB money? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Lofi, whenever you got to pay your quarterback, that puts a burden on all teams. So that's a game you got to play, and the better front offices will be able to balance it out. They have 2 more years before the real money kicks in for Tua. So they've got 2 more years of being able to kind of play with the money a little bit more. In 3 years, that's when it becomes a real problem, a real problem and a challenge. Now you're going to have to be good in free agency and all those other things. But again, why are you worried about that now? Who gives a shit about Tua's salary right now? Right now, it's about the number 1 seed. Right now, it's about the playoffs. Right now, it's about trying to get to a Super Bowl. It's not about who's coming back in free agency. Who are they going to pay this? I don't understand most of you out there with this shit. You just want to bog yourself down with shit you can't control, and really we don't know what's going to happen. And yet your team is in the middle of doing something they haven't done in 30 years. And you're worried about bullshit 3 years from now. Don't get it. Don't get it from some of you. Let's see. Why so many people talking about an offseason? Give me a Super Bowl now. Exactly. So, let's see. Oh, you know what? Let me, I do have a little music news and notes. Let's do a little bit of that. Mix it up a little bit. I got to check crypto too. Voice is already hurting a little bit. All right, let's go with birthdays today. Jared Leto, the actor, is 52, the crazy sumbitch. Lars Ulrich, drummer for Metallica, is 60 years old. Kit Harington, actor, 37. Prodigy, the rapper, is 27. Chris Daughtry, rock singer, 44. Hugo Lloris, the soccer player, is 37 years old. Alexandra Wang, the fashion designer, is 40. Is that like Vera Wang? Is that kind of is same person? Not sure. Beth Bears, TV actress, is 38. Aaron Ramsey, soccer player, 33. Alan King. We lost him in 2004, but was born on this date in 1927. Connor Mason, rock singer, 31. From the British rock band Nothing But Thieves. I don't know them, but I thought I would give it a chance. Now let's go to music history. On this date in 1970, George Harrison became the first Beatle with a solo single to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 with My Sweet Lord. Great song. Went to number 1. In 68, in Denver, Led Zeppelin kicked off their first North American tour, supporting Vanilla Fudge and Spirit. Tickets for the gig were $5. Zeppelin opening up for Vanilla Fudge. That's too much right there. In 79, Pink Floyd The Wall was the number one album on the charts. It would go to spend a total of 15 weeks at the summit and 35 weeks on the charts. In 81, AC/DC started a three-week run at number one on the album charts. For those about to rock, we salute you. Concert-wise this week, Dave Chappelle tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday at Hard Rock Live. So if you didn't know that Dave Chappelle's in town, you can see him at the Hard Rock tonight, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, you want a great concert, Culture Room, Trombone Shorty. Freaking awesome. Great show. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Dwayne Betts will be at the Funky Biscuit. Yes, the Dwayne Betts, son. And Sunday, Afrojack is at the Dare nightclub in Hollywood. Because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I didn't go work because I got high. I didn't clean my room because I got high. Right? So if you want to enjoy a little Afrojack, and I know why, because you get high, because you get high, because you get high. Da-da-da-da-da-da. If we can develop Claypool, he can be our big receiver like a Chris Carter. I don't know what's going on there. I don't understand it. Is he not a bright bulb? Like, is he one of those dim bulbs in the chandelier? I mean, he went to Notre Dame. He's got to have a brain. Dummies don't go to Notre Dame. You got to have a brain if you go to Notre Dame. Seriously. I'm no joke, okay? Not a Notre Dame fan by any stretch whatsoever, but academically, that place is taken a little bit more serious than the average school, okay? So he's got to be smart. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, you know? I know he hasn't been the most mature player, but he can't be a dummy. And although the whole thing with Cedric, they haven't been able to figure it out either. And they keep trying that, the fade one with that guy too. And yet it just doesn't work. It's just odd. It really is. Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. And of course, you can always make a Bitcoin donation on Cash App or Venmo. Where are we at, man? Where are we at? Is Bitcoin continuing to go down a little bit? 42,227, down 3%. This is a really nice dip for you newbies. Big time. And Polygon finally making that move. It's up to 94 cents. It was down at 76 cents on December 18. So it's already up quite a bit. But I've been waiting for the Polygon move, like the big move. And it's up 24% in the last week, 21% in the last month, which is not a ton. 82% in the last 3 months. But it has not had that one parabolic run, and I think it's due. Big time. Yes, sir. What do you got there? What is that?
I want you to watch Claypool's, I guess, what he gives the Dolphins. Here you go.
He's got it.
You see him? Oh, man, I blocked it. Hold on. Let me redo it, Here you go. Watch Claypool in the back.
Okay.
Look at him. See him running with Coach?
Yes.
Look at him. That's what Claypool brings to the.
Well, he looks good at least.
That's what he brings to the.
The knee looks good.
I don't know what's wrong. He went up high point. That was a high point. Maybe that's what he's showing the coach. Look, Coach, I can go high. I can go high.
I don't understand. You have a pinpoint accurate passer. I'd be, you know how they throw to the net? Well, I just hate to it. Let's just throw fades to Cedric and to Cedric. Or what is it? Claypool? What is it? What's his first name? I forgot now. Whatever. Anyways, Claypool and
Chase Claypool.
Chase and Cedric. Just let's throw fades. For the next half hour, I just want fades. I don't know how that has not developed into a weapon for the Dolphins. I don't get it. Everyone and their mothers said, oh, it's a Ronde. Okay, I'll throw a fade to a Ronde. And it didn't matter who you were. You knew that all you got to do is throw a fade to 86, and he's going to figure out a way to come down with the football. Am I wrong or am I right? You lived it. A lot of you that are old enough, you knew it was coming, and you couldn't stop it anyways. Oronde Gadsden. And it wasn't only Jay Fiedler and it wasn't only Marino. Okay? Every other quarterback that played in between or after that played with Oronde, all of them had that one play they knew they can throw to Oronde. I don't understand why that's so hard to develop in this offense. Doesn't make sense. It's like a really intelligent coach, super intelligent quarterback, terrific offense overall. The skill set is there by Claypool. The skill set is there for Cedric. Why can't we execute it? Just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. I don't get it. Cedric can make plays. He can. Cedric's played well lately, man. I like what he's done. The same way Gesicki caught that high ball from Tua in the back of the end zone is the same way we should use Claypool. Tua has the accuracy to get the ball in the right spot. Sneak attack. I love you, brother. You're 1,000% right. But why doesn't it happen? Everything you said makes sense. You used the perfect example. It happened under this coach last year against Baltimore in the 21-point comeback. Gesicki high-pointed that beautiful ball that Tua threw, that Tua knew that the only guy that was going to catch that ball was Gesicki. Why can't they do this with Claypool and Cedric? Why can't they figure it out? Is it that Oronde knows how to do it and that Gesicki knows how to do it and that Claypool's not good at it? But I saw him do it in Pittsburgh. So we don't have a lot of track record with Cedric, but from what we've seen, it looks like he could do it too. Don't get it. I just don't understand it. And it's such a weapon. Calturd. What? I just don't understand why some of you listen to Calturd anyways. Why? What's going on with Calturd? I don't even know why you guys. Why do you guys listen to Calturd? What's going on?
Opened up the broadcast talking about Tua and Lamar. There's not even a thing. Look what he did to the other guy that was considered an MVP, Brock Purdy. Same stick.
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah.
Again, I don't blame everything on Purdy either, but yeah, he played like shit. No doubt about that. Claypool Christmas discounts. This is awesome. Oh, crypto Christmas discounts. This is awesome. Yes, it is, Kyle. I got a new one. I got a new crypto for you. So I'm a big Cosmos guy. And Cosmos is, they are now growing their DeFi. And there's a company that's on the blockchain, a layer 2, and it's called Neutron. And Neutron right now is at $1.23, down 2.5%. And why I mention this is it was up at 137 last night after it was peaking from 122 and went up to 137. Now it's gone back down in this dip to 126. It's going to go back up to 137. But one of the reasons why I like this is because Neutron is the company that's going to run the DeFi for the entire Cosmos eco chain. And so they're going to be closing all the smart contracts on the blockchain for all the different companies that are on Cosmos. And that is going to create a lot of business. And this is why I tell you in the last month, it is up 169%. It is up 244% the last 3 months. Just to give you an idea, it was on November 9th, it was at 31 cents and 29 cents. November 9th. We are now in December 26th, and it's $1.22. Now, what I love about it is one of the things I always tell you about companies that you invest in. What is their market cap? How much can they double? Well, their market cap right now is only $334 million. So just to get to 1 billion, they will 3 times. And this is a company that can easily go into the billions. It could easily be worth 10, 20 billion in the next year, which how many times is that going to be? So this is a new one that I just got in on. And looking at it, I love the growth potential of Neutron. You can find it on crypto.com. The abbreviation is NTRN. Okay. $1.21 now. So it's in the middle of a dip. Follow the dip. I'm not a financial advisor whatsoever. Follow the dip. When it hits the bottom here, 120, 120, 119, 118. If it continues, it's at 120 now. Okay, so it's gone down 2 pennies since we were talking. I'd follow it and wait because that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to buy more. Okay, I bought very little last night because I wanted to have it on my watch list. And I saw that we were kind of going into a dip, and I said, let me wait. And I was smart. So I'm waiting for this dip now to get in. Neutron. So you're more than welcome to do the Neutron dance with me. Big O, at this point in the season, does the coach still have a part of the playbook that has not been used, saving it for the playoffs? Yes, definitely, DJ. He has stuff he's working on that he has not used. No doubt about it. Yes. Yes. Waiting for the right moment. No doubt. Let's see. Haven't checked that one out yet. Oh, what's the ticker symbol? Oh, I gave it to you. You got it there. The token allocation, by the way. I like Kyle because he knows his shit. The circulating right now is 278 million. Now, the total supply is 1 billion. So 1/4 has been released. A little over 1/4, 278. So it's a little over a fourth. So yes, they still have more to be released, but the tokenomics overall of it and the potential, because it's going to handle all the DeFi on that blockchain, I really love the potential of it. Really love the potential of it. So, you check it out and do your own homework like always. And then do your thing. Diego says, that's been my thought process with the last month of games left. He has been saving his best for this stretch and trying his hardest to just get to this point now. We shall see. Hopefully Claypool too. I hope so. I hope so. I hope so. All righty. Don't forget, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, you can reach out to our business line. By the way, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Let's see, what else do we have here? By the way, oh, yes. For those of you that have been on the Jasmy train, since we talked about Jasmy, you're completely in the green now. Doesn't matter wherever you got in from when we talked about it, because the highest point we talked about it was at 66, and it went all the way to 73 last night, but it's at 70 right now. So those of you that are on the Jasmy train, you're fully in the green also. And that's one of those long plays that we have. We beat the Cowboys and all the haters are quiet. It's going to be a good day. Yes. Yes, it is, sir. Let's see. Thursday, Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers and Miami at the Bad Boy Movers Pinstripe Bowl. How about today? 2:00, it's the Quick Lane Bowl, Bowling Green in Minnesota. At 5:30, it's the Serve Pro First Responders Bowl, Texas State and Rice. At 9:00, it's the Guaranteed Rate Bowl with Kansas and UNLV. We got a lot of crazy bowl games, dude. Holy shit. How many do you watch, Sean? Do you watch at least one from beginning to end in the entire bowl season? If it's not UM.
Maybe the playoffs, depending, when you get to the bigger games, but none of the smaller bowls, no.
Because I have a hard time believing.
But I believe I've caught one piece of every game so far, though, believe it or not.
Wow, Sneak Attack already got in on Neutron. Look at that. Sneak Attack didn't waste any time. Nice job by you, Sneak Attack. Holy shit. I'm going to be interested to see if Kyle's going to take a little dip in there. I think it's worth a little dip. Put it that way. I'm not telling you to put in a life savings or anything like that. That's crazy. But I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm definitely going in. Big time. By the way, where is it at right now? See if it's still going down. Oh, I went back up to 121 now. So I don't know if it's hit its bottom right now, is the question. But we'll keep up with it. We'll keep up with it. It'll be one of our smaller plays, but I'll definitely keep up with it. We beat the Cowboys. Let's see. Dolphins will punch the Ravens in the mouth, do the same to the Bills, and nail down the AFC East and claim the number 1 spot. I hope so. I kept on saying before the game that we were in a good position. We're going to win the division and we're going to be in the playoffs and then we're going to be okay, says Real Fin Fan. This team is not the same old Dolphins team. You're with me, bro. I've been trying to tell people this. This is not the same old Dolphins team at all. I wish Rice was in Bush's Beans Bowl. Then we can all say we had beans and rice. There you go. Although some of us already had beans and rice. Didn't you have some beans and rice yesterday, Sean? Of course, right? You had some Latins there.
I've had beans and rice since the 24th.
Okay. I had some leftovers yesterday.
Duro.
Yeah. I had some leftovers myself yesterday. I had to, Got to have a little more lechon, man. That was good. It was very good. A little extra lechon. Nothing wrong with that, man. All right, what do we got here? We got any kind of breaking news? You guys got any questions for me? Fire away, because it looks like we're close to wrapping up here. Bill O'Brien, I think Mac Jones is going to be fine. Sure, dude, whatever you say.
Can I share my favorite trophy from the bowl season here?
Oh, for sure. Why not? Yeah. Go for it.
You'll see why real quick.
What's on top of that? I can't tell.
The Pop-Tart.
Oh.
It's the Pop-Tart Bowl in Orlando.
So those are 2 tarts coming out from the top. Oh, my God.
Look at the golden tarts on the side.
That is awesome, dude.
Good.
That's awesome.
And Joe Shad is the one that shared it, or at least the first one I saw that shared this. And I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. Pop-Tart Bowl. That is awesome. Although you got to give me apple Pop-Tarts. That's my weakness right there. An apple Pop-Tart, and you got me.
I don't know that I've ever had an apple Pop-Tart. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I love apple pie. I love apple crumble, but I don't believe I've ever had an apple Pop-Tart. I usually go strawberry, or like the regular flavors.
Right. The one that everybody goes with, the strawberry and cherry or whatever, but what is it? Blueberry, raspberry?
There's a blueberry, there's a blueberry one.
Whatever, yeah. I and early on, when I was a kid, obviously I'm old enough, Pop-Tarts did not exist in apple. And then they came out in apple, and I was like, oh, Mom, you got to get me that. That's it, because I never really wanted the Pop-Tarts in the other flavors. And so because I think apple even came out after chocolate and everything. I'm not exactly sure. You know what? Give me the history, bro. Come on.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Hold on.
Did the apple Pop-Tart come out? Because I remember
right back. Let me get my handy dandy notebook.
I'm pretty sure I remember watching like it was news. Like, holy shit, they've got an apple Pop-Tart. Mom, you got to get me that. Because I've always been the apple guy, the apple strudel, apple pie, whatever. I've always been in apple every single time. And if I remember correctly, the apple Pop-Tarts came in after strawberry and chocolate and all that. And I think the history, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say the apple Pop-Tart first showed up in 1976. Let's go all American. The year we became 200 here in this country. The year they were making us make all kinds of red, white, and blue stuff at school because we were all jingoistic and going crazy. Because, of course, you still learn these songs. You're a grand old flag. You're a high flying flag, and forever in peace may you wave. You're
what was your guess, O?
Of the land I love, the home of the free. Of course, these kids learn these songs nowadays. I'm sorry, go ahead. What
was the year you said?
76.
Oh, I thought you nailed it. 1967.
67?
Yeah, they debuted with 4 flavors: Dutch apple, Concord grape, raspberry, and brown sugar cinnamon. Sprinkles debuted the following year.
Well, okay, so then I'm way off. And it must have
Now
been something.
that's Dutch apple too, so I don't know if there's 2 different. Maybe they now.
I don't even remember it being called Dutch apple.
Maybe they changed the name in '76 because nobody was getting Dutch apple.
I don't think it was 76. I might be completely wrong, but looks like I am now. But I don't remember it being called Dutch apple. Wow. Okay, I don't remember that. Yeah, I guess I'm off on that one. I wonder what it was then that they started in Apple, and then I really like, wow, this is awesome. If it's not that, what is it? So I remember there was something like that in my life that I remember they started doing it in Apple, and I was like, yeah, because I was an Apple freak. All right, what do we got on the chat board? The Bug Mike says, at least we have a week to prepare without Waddle. Hope we spread the ball and don't force it to Tyreek. Downhill runs with Jeff Wilson. Yeah, and I'd like a little Chris Brooks too. Get his ass involved. Nothing wrong with that. The chocolate Pop-Tarts are crack. Pudding pie. S'mores Pop-Tarts. You know, I've never been a s'mores guy because I don't really like marshmallows. I've just never really enjoyed marshmallows. I know
the chocolate ones heated up are awesome.
I know it's very un-American for me to say I don't like marshmallows. But, Dolphins can end up number 3 seed, losing tiebreaker to Browns if both finish 11-6. So why do you want to do that, bro? Why do you people want to just hang on to negativity? I don't get that. You people like beating yourselves up with negativity? Is that what it is? John Padilla says, tomorrow's my birthday, not doing anything, saving money for Vegas hopes. That's it, John. Save it. You're going to need that money in Vegas because we're going to be in Vegas rooting on the Dolphins. We're going to have the best week of our lives covering the Dolphins in the Super Bowl and then celebrating a Dolphins win. We're all going to be at Tommy Rocker's having an absolute freaking blast. You know what? I got to touch base with Tommy to make sure he's ready for us. He knows I told him I'm coming back for the Super Bowl. So he's like, we're already ready for you. Oreo Pop-Tarts. Wow, that is nasty. Oreo Pop-Tarts. I like that. I like that. All right, what do we got here? Finally, Super Chat, Cash App, or Venmo. We got nothing there. Thank you all, as always, for that. Appreciate all of you that made any kind of donations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we thank Ira Winderman, David Fronis, Manny Navarro. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, the man that masters this entire platform every single day. Thanks to all of you out there for tuning in. If you sent in a Super Chat, a Cash App, or Venmo, Cash Big O Show, however it is you support our show, please hit the like button, smash the notification bell, subscribe, share it with more people out there, Heat, Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami fans, so they can get a hold of the only platform that gives them everything that they're looking for on all of their local teams every single day here on the platform. We thank you all. We will see you tomorrow from the studio. Same time, same place, same bat channel.